Chapter 201. Then let's repair it the way it was before. Uncle Nyo was also helpless. It was very difficult to change old Gu's mind. After eating some food, Night Sorrow left the bamboo house and walked towards the town. When he reached the inn, Night Sorrow took a deep breath and walked in. This was an inn run by a foreigner. "Boss, I'm here to look for someone," Night Sorrow said to the boss. "What's her name?" The boss looked at Night Sorrow and asked. A single woman." Night Sorrow didn't say Sikong Chuyu's name because he didn't want Sikong Chuyu's identity to be exposed. "I'm sorry. Although we are an inn in a small town, we have rules. If you can't say your name, please don't disturb our guests," the boss said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow rubbed his face and didn't know what to say. This boss was really principled. "She's my friend." Just as Night Sorrow was in a dilemma, Sikong Chuyu, who was wearing a bamboo hat, appeared and shouted at the boss. Then, Sikong Chuyu waved at Night Sorrow and led Night Sorrow to her room on the second floor. She was staying in the best room in the inn. It had a bedroom and a living room. "Sikong, why are you still in the Medicine Valley?" Night Sorrow asked anxiously after entering the room. "I walked aimlessly and came here. I didn't go to Danding City and came here directly." "No one will notice," Sikong Chuyu said. "Safety is the most important thing. How have you been?" Night Sorrow looked at Sikong Chuyu and asked. "This time, we didn't use Tianji Tower's channel to come to the eastern Xian region. Our safety isn't a problem, and we can travel around freely." Sikong Chuyu poured a cup of tea for Night Sorrow and said, "Follow me to the Medicine Valley and stay at Taishan Peak. Our Medicine Valley also has a sixth order venerable. Your family and Tianji Tower shouldn't be able to reach into the Medicine Valley," Night Sorrow said. "I don't know why I'm here again. How have you been?" Sikong Chuyu sighed and asked Night Sorrow. "I'm fine. I'm just worried about you," Night Sorrow said in a low voice. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Sikong Chuyu's face turned red. He lowered his head and didn't say anything. "My cultivation is too low to help you solve the problem, but I'll try my best." After Night Sorrow finished speaking, his mood was completely different from before. He was full of fighting spirit. "Well, don't pressure yourself too much. You've already worked very hard," Sikong Chuyu said to Night Sorrow. "How long do you plan to stay in Juyuan village?" Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow and asked. "What about you?" Night Sorrow asked. "I came here because I knew you would come. So when you leave, I'll leave too," Sikong Chuyu said. "You came here to wait for me?" Night Sorrow's heart trembled. "Why are you asking so many questions?" Sikong Chuyu glared at Night Sorrow and didn't answer Night Sorrow's question. "I won't ask, I won't ask. How about this? When we go back, I'll take you to the bamboo forest mountain where I used to cultivate. Although the conditions there aren't as good, it's quiet." Night Sorrow had a plan. "What are you doing? Are you planning to hide me?" Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. "Yes, I'm planning to hide you." Night Sorrow nodded seriously. "And then?" Sikong Chuyu asked with a smile. "Then, I'll work hard to cultivate. When I'm strong enough, I'll go to the Qingtian domain and find those people who bullied you. What's that guy's name again?" "Ji Yuhao, I still remember." Yi Shang didn't even think before he spoke his mind. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow and asked, "And then?" "And then?" Night Sorrow repeated Sikong Chuyu's words. He didn't know what to say. He didn't think too much. He just didn't want Sikong Chuyu to be wronged. "All right, I won't make things difficult for you. You should go first and wait for me somewhere. I'll go find you later," Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. She could actually understand Night Sorrow's mentality. Night Sorrow's thoughts were very simple. He was thinking for her. Seeing that Sikong Chuyu agreed to his arrangement, Night Sorrow was happy and expressed it directly. I'm very happy to see you. Seekom Chuyu smiled but didn't say anything. She didn't need to express anything. It was enough that she could come here. After drinking tea for a while, Night Sorrow left. Before he left, he gave Seekom Chuyu the roll of top-grade silk that he had left behind. Seekom Chuyu liked the silk that felt good to the touch. After leaving the inn, Night Sorrow felt very happy. Seekom Chuyu was the thing he worried about the most. For Seekom Chuyu's safety, what he needed to do was to work hard and cultivate even harder. When they returned to Father Gu's place, the villagers had all left. Father Gu had also gone to rest. Aoi and Yang Lei were drinking tea in the yard. You saw her? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Senior sister, you know? Night Sorrow looked at Yang Lei and asked. Of course, I'm familiar with her aura. Yang Lei smiled and said. 13, you have a successful tryst with your lover. Aoi also looked at Night Sorrow with a smile. Night Sorrow blushed and didn't know what to say. After that, Aoi and Yang Lei kept digging. Night Sorrow said something when he saw Seekom Chuyu. Night Sorrow didn't want to say anything, but Aoi and Yang Lei wouldn't let him go. He had no choice but to confess. You idiot. Then? Why did she come all the way to your hometown? Yang Lei slapped the back of Night Sorrow's head. Ninth senior sister, why are you so angry? Night Sorrow rubbed his head and said. You can't blame your ninth senior sister for being angry. Seekom has many places to choose from, but she came here. You should treat her better. At least promise her something, Aoi said. Night Sorrow understood what Aoi meant, but he didn't dare. He was afraid that Seekom Chuyu would be angry if he was rude. The next day, Uncle Nyo brought people to repair the bamboo house. Papa Gu looked at them and didn't allow them to touch this and that. Night Sorrow's father didn't allow them to touch any of his toys and wooden horses when he was young. Original Q/chapter #%I Uncle Nyo and the craftsman could only adapt to the original decorations in the courtyard and repair the house. Night Sorrow brought wine and food to burn incense for the two Yi family members whose names he didn't know. In the afternoon, Yi Shang once again went to the inn where Seekom Chuyu was staying. When he came, he also bought some food. In the inn's room, Night Sorrow saw Seekom Chuyu, who had just taken a shower. Why are you here again instead of spending more time with Papa Gu? Seekom Chuyu was delighted when he saw Night Sorrow. However, he still reprimanded Night Sorrow. Papa Gu drank some wine during lunch and then went to rest. He can't hold his liquor well, so he basically goes to sleep after drinking, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow, I've thought about something. Won't the seniors in your sect object if I go to the Medicine Valley? I won't go and cause trouble for you, Seekom Chuyu said. Chapter 202. That's not appropriate. I can't implicate you, Seekom Chuyu said, shaking her head. Anyway, I won't let you run around alone anymore. Jiyu family forced you to do this. I'll remember this. Night Sorrow was a little annoyed. Seekom Chuyu sat down beside Night Sorrow and consoled Night Sorrow. Don't be angry. That's how the world works. Jiyu family is the #1 family in the Qingtian region. They have the strength to be so domineering mainly because the Seekom family is disappointing and willing to hug their thighs. However, whoever wants to hug them can do it. I won't. Night Sorrow nodded. Actually, I should thank them. If they didn't force me, I don't know when I would be able to see you again. Night Sorrow said. Seekom Chuyu smiled. He understood Night Sorrow's state of mind. After a sleepless night, Seekom Chuyu sorted out her emotions. She finally understood the problem that she hadn't thought about carefully. For example, she had wandered aimlessly this time and came to the eastern Xian region. It was because she felt that Night Sorrow was trustworthy and dependable. Although Night Sorrow was young, she was responsible. She felt at ease when she was by Night Sorrow's side. When there was a problem, Night Sorrow would definitely stay behind to block the front. His back wasn't tall, but it was definitely sturdy. Si Kong also understood a little about Yi Shang's heart. Yi Shang cared about her. He truly cared and worried about her. He was different from the people she knew in the past. There were no other factors. He was straightforward and simple. She also knew that Night Sorrow wasn't good at expressing himself. He always used actions to express himself, just like when he faced the purple gold beast king. Compared to Night Sorrow's actions, the words of those who had followed her in the past, including her family, were so pale and powerless. "Sikong, you look good when you smile. You should smile more in the future," Night Sorrow said as he looked at Sikong Chuyu, who was smiling and thinking. Sikong Chuyu complained to Night Sorrow and said, "Since when did you become a hooligan? Call me Chuyu from now on. There are too many people in my family who call me Sikong." Then I'll call you Chuyu from now on." Night Sorrow nodded seriously. At the same time, he took out the jade pendant and looked at it seriously. "Do you have it with you?" A blush appeared on Sikong Chuyu's face. That was the jade pendant that had never left her side since she was a child. Now that it had appeared in Night Sorrow's arms, she felt a little embarrassed. "Yes, I've always had it with me. Since you're here, I'll return it to you," Night Sorrow said. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Sikong Chuyu had the urge to strangle Night Sorrow's neck. This person was too silly. "You idiot. How can you take back something that you've already given away?" After thinking for a moment, Night Sorrow took off the jade pendant that she had always worn around her neck and stuffed it into Sikong Chuyu's hands. "This is the most important thing I have. I'm giving it to you." After Sikong Chuyu took it in her hands, she said, "This jade pendant obviously belongs to a man. It's not suitable for me to wear. Just treat it as a costume," Night Sorrow said with a smile. Sikong Chuyu nodded and hung Night Sorrow's jade pendant on her waist. Then, he helped Night Sorrow hang the hollow jade pendant. "By the way, the last time I returned to the Qingtian region, I checked many ancient and existing books. Among the 9 regions and 18 prefectures, there are quite a few Yi clans. The most famous one is the Night Moon dynasty of the Taiqing region," Sikong Chuyu said. "Sounds very domineering?" Night Sorrow said with a smile. "It's not just the name. 100 years ago, the Night Moon dynasty was the head of the 3 great dynasties of the Taiqing region. The Moon Emperor Yi Tian was one of the top experts of the Taiqing region, suppressing the other dynasties and forces. However, an unforeseen event happened 130 years ago," Sikong Chuyu said. Then, Sikong Chuyu told Night Sorrow about the Night Moon dynasty. UZN, plus Night Sorrow listened to it like a story. The Taiqing region was too far away from the eastern Xian region. It had almost nothing to do with him. Although the Night Moon dynasty hadn't reached the level of ruling the Taiqing region, it had always been the strongest force in the Taiqing region. All the other forces had to look up to it. The unforeseen event happened 100 years ago. The Night Moon dynasty's Moon Emperor Yi Tian disappeared. At first, the other forces didn't dare to act rashly. However, after not seeing Yi Tian appear for several decades, they all started to act. Their actions grew bigger and bigger until they entered a period of chaos. The other 2 dynasties joined forces with the other forces to encircle and annihilate the Night Moon dynasty. The Night Moon dynasty had 1,000 years of inheritance and was incomparably strong. After the other party made a move, they began to counterattack. Facing the encirclement and annihilation of the other forces, the Night Moon dynasty didn't fall into a disadvantageous position. The battle went on for several decades and both sides were in a deadlock. The deadlock was broken about 20 years ago. The other 2 dynasties successfully bribed an elder of the Night Moon dynasty who didn't share the same surname. This elder secretly brought the experts of the opposing forces into the Night Moon sky, which was the core of the Night Moon dynasty. Then, the elder ambushed the strongest person in the Night Moon dynasty at that time, the 3rd Prince Yi Linghuan, who was known as the undefeatable king. At the same time, the experts of the opposing forces also ambushed the other experts of the Night Moon dynasty. In the end, several extremely powerful emperors of the Night Moon dynasty died in battle. The third Prince Yilinghuan was heavily injured, but he still killed all the invaders. Then, he led the remaining forces into the Night Moon Sea. This battle was very tragic. More than 10 venerables were killed or injured. The Night Moon dynasty suffered heavy losses and withdrew from the power struggle of the Taichin region. Too sinister. If we want to fight, we have to fight with courage. Ambushing and besieging is too despicable, Night Sorrow said hatefully. The weak are prey to the strong. This is the rule of survival. They can't afford to drag this out. The second generation of the Night Moon dynasty's direct descendants reached the 6th level and were titled emperors. At that time, the Night Moon dynasty had 3 extremely powerful emperors. The third generation of the Night Moon dynasty's titled prince, the third Prince Yilinghuan, had unparalleled combat strength. If they didn't stop him, they were worried that Yilinghuan, with his huge potential, would become another Night Moon emperor in the future, Sikong Chuyu said. I don't know why, but I feel uncomfortable. It's as if I feel the same way. Night Sorrow sighed and said. It's really tragic. If Yilinghuan was given time, no one in the Taichin region would be able to suppress him. He's the youngest venerable in the Taichin region and the only one who became a venerable under 100 years old. How would the major forces of the Taichin region dare to let him grow? Sikong Chuyu said with a bitter smile. When she was reading the ancient books, she also felt an inexplicable sadness in her heart. So now, the Night Moon dynasty has been destroyed? Night Sorrow asked. He really didn't want the Night Moon dynasty to be destroyed by the long river of history. Chapter 203. Night Sorrow didn't speak for a long time. He couldn't express the feeling in his heart. Is this the end of the road for a hero? Night Sorrow's blood suddenly accelerated. He couldn't even suppress it. His Jin Qi and the energy in his body began to riot. This made Night Sorrow unable to sit still. He stood up and tried to control it. Looking at Night Sorrow's hair flying and almost standing up, Sikong Chuyu was stunned. He didn't understand what was going on. However, seeing that Night Sorrow's energy was out of control, Sikong Chuyu made a move. He reached out and touched Night Sorrow's chest, trying to help Night Sorrow calm his Jin Qi. But as soon as his finger fell on Night Sorrow's chest, it was bounced away. Calm down, Night Sorrow, calm down. Sikong Chuyu said anxiously. Night Sorrow circulated his Jin Qi and the energy of the myriad Dao Tong, slowly stabilizing his boiling blood. After taking a deep breath and wiping the sweat from his forehead, Night Sorrow sat down. What happened to you just now? Sikong Chuyu took out his handkerchief and handed it to Night Sorrow, and asked nervously. I don't know. I just felt a little depressed and angry. Then my Jin Qi and blood went out of control. The speed of circulation was several times faster than usual. If I was in a fight just now, my combat power would have increased a lot. Night Sorrow wiped his sweat with the handkerchief. He held it in his hand and didn't know whether to return it or not. If he returned it, it would be a little dirty. If he didn't return it, it would be inappropriate to keep a woman's handkerchief in his hand. Do you have a potential bloodline talent? Seeing that Night Sorrow was fine, Sikong Chuyu asked. I don't have any bloodline talent. Night Sorrow said with a smile. It's hard to say. In your situation just now, the intensity and speed of your Jin Qi were no lower than the core condensation stage. If there are no drawbacks, this is the manifestation of your bloodline talent. Sikong Chuyu said very seriously. Can you give me this handkerchief? Night Sorrow looked at the sweat-stained handkerchief and said. Sikong Chuyu glared at Night Sorrow but did not say anything. How could he ask such a question? As long as there was something to it, he could just put it away. Seeing that Sikong Chuyu didn't say anything, Night Sorrow put it away. After chatting with Sikong Chuyu for a while, Night Sorrow left. After returning to Dad Gu's residence, Night Sorrow saw that the front and back of the bamboo house had changed. The layout of the bamboo house hadn't changed, but the bamboo had been replaced with new ones. The yard had also been paved with green bricks, but the toy wooden horses were still in their original positions. There were also red walls around the yard. The repair speed was fast, mainly because many people came. In addition to the craftsmen, there were also many people who helped. Not only the old villagers of Zhuyuan village, but some of the town's businessmen also came to help. It was finished in one afternoon. You went to have fun. Sixth senior sister and I served tea and water here. Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow with dissatisfaction. Hee. Night Sorrow smiled awkwardly. Are you going to ignore me and sixth senior sister now that you have a new woman? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. No, absolutely not. As long as sixth senior sister and ninth senior sister need it, I will do anything. Night Sorrow quickly said. That's a good boy. If you cast me and sixth senior sister aside just because you have a woman, then you better be careful, humph. Yang Lei reached out and patted Yi Shang's shoulder as she snorted. 13, it's not suitable for us to see her. Let's talk about it when we go back. Aoi said. Sixth senior sister, ninth senior sister, I plan to bring Seacombe to Bamboo Forest Peak, the place where I used to cultivate. Is that okay? Night Sorrow asked. That shouldn't be a problem, but you still have to say hello to Master and eldest senior brother. Aoi said. Night Sorrow nodded. At the same time, he also decided to leave tomorrow. The Medicine Valley was in troubled times, and it wasn't suitable for them to stay here for long. That night, Night Sorrow and Papa Gu talked a lot and only went to bed in the second half of the night. Night Sorrow originally wanted to help Papa Gu and wanted to ask Aoi to get some low-level elixirs. However, Aoi said that Papa Gu's dantian was shattered and he couldn't cultivate true qi anymore. His body was also aging and he couldn't absorb the energy of the blood essence elixir. This made Night Sorrow give up helplessly. In fact, Papa Gu could only live the life of an ordinary person. At dawn, Night Sorrow arrived at the inn and informed Seacombe Chuyu that he was leaving. He also told Seacombe Chuyu to wait for him at Grass Valley Town near the entrance of the Medicine Valley. Night Sorrow didn't dare to let Seacombe Chuyu go to Danding City or Longquan Courtyard mainly because he was afraid that they would be discovered. That would be troublesome to deal with. After bidding farewell to Seacombe Chuyu, Night Sorrow planned to leave with Aoi and Yang Lei, who were on the street. At that moment, Uncle Nyo pulled Night Sorrow into the backyard of his inn. Come, Uncle doesn't have anything to give you. Take this wine with you. Uncle, how can I let you spend so much money? Night Sorrow said embarrassedly. What's wrong with you, kid? You've been away for 1 or 2 years and you've become so shy. Just take it when I tell you to. It doesn't cost much. Uncle Nyo glared at Night Sorrow and yelled at him. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that if he didn't take it, Uncle Nyo would get angry. Then, he took a few jars. Night Sorrow, we watched you grow up. You're no different from our own child. Everyone in the village is grateful to you for being able to live such a good life. So, you don't have to stand on ceremony with your uncles and aunties. Aunt Lin came with a few robes in her hands. What else could Night Sorrow say? He could only bow and accept the robes. If you're tired outside, come back. Get a wife and live a stable life. If you have children, Aunt Lin will help you take care of them. Aunt Lin glanced at Aoi and Yang Lei and said. Aunt Lin's glance made Aoi and Yang Lei blush. People in the mountains were honest, but her words and gaze were too direct. Night Sorrow smiled and didn't answer. Then, he bade farewell to everyone. When he reached the street, he turned around and glanced at Father Gu, who was standing at the entrance of the alley. Night Sorrow bowed deeply, then released Tianyu and jumped onto Tianyu's back. Aoi and Yang Lei also released the green condor and left with Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow can enter the Medicine Valley. He will become a big shot in the future, Aunt Lin said with emotion. This lord is not an ordinary disciple in the Medicine Valley. He is at least an elite disciple, a steward of the Chamber of Commerce said. Steward Zhou, tell us, what is an elite disciple? Uncle Nyo was interested. Just now, when that lord bent down to take the wine, his tight-fitting sleeves were exposed from under his robes. There was a silver medicine cauldron symbol on it. Ordinary disciples of the Medicine Valley are not qualified to wear such robes, said Steward Zhou of the Chamber of Commerce. Yi Shang will have a bright future, Auntie Lin said firmly. You latest be chapter previous plus, the higher this lord's status in the Medicine Valley, the smoother Bamboo Garden Town's future development will be. Don't sell the shops and land in your hands. If you want to sell them, you have to come to me first, Steward Zhou said with a smile. Get lost, you Zhou Bapi. How dare you cheat people? I'm not done with you, Father Gu shouted from not far away. Father Gu, I'm not an unscrupulous merchant. Otherwise, I wouldn't say this, right? Steward Zhou didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Chapter 204. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little. We will provide you with interesting novels to read. Yes, we've arranged to meet at the inn in Grass Valley. Night Sorrow nodded. Then clean up Xiaogu town when we get back. The grand ceremony to celebrate the Supreme Elder's breakthrough to the exalted stage is coming soon. Xiaogu town will become lively and there will be more people coming. However, it won't be that quick. It will take at least half a month for the people from all sides to arrive, said Yang Lei. Which peak is in charge of Grass Valley town now? Night Sorrow asked. I don't know. It was Danding Peak last year. I don't care which peak it is this year. However, it won't be a problem to arrange for you to go there. After all, your senior sister is an elder. Yang Lei patted her chest and said. Mind your image, Aoi said helplessly as she looked at Yang Lei patting her perky chest. Isn't it just in front of junior brother? I won't do this in front of others. Yang Lei was hurt by Aoi's words. 13 is not young anymore. You can't be like this. Aoi said. It's okay. Senior sister, you can do whatever you want. Night Sorrow could tell that Yang Lei was a little embarrassed. I really don't know what to do with you guys. Aoi was a little helpless. After 3 days, the three of them returned to Medicine Valley. Without going to Longquan Courtyard, Night Sorrow went to Danding Peak. He wanted to talk to Yu Yang Yu about bringing Sikong Chuyu to Bamboo Forest Peak. He had to ask for instructions. In a loft behind Danding Peak, Night Sorrow and the other two met Yu Yang Yu. You're back. It's rare for you to go back. You can stay for a few more days. Yu Yang Yu said with a smile when he saw Night Sorrow. Disciple has something to say to Master, please make a decision. Night Sorrow bowed and said. If there's something difficult, just tell Master. It's okay. Lu Yang Yu nodded. Night Sorrow then told him about Sikong Chuyu. Sure. Even if there is a real problem, I will step in. However, I will only step in as a personal matter. After all, this matter has nothing to do with the Medicine Valley, Yu Yang Yu said. Thank you for your permission, Master. Night Sorrow bowed. All right, go ahead. Yu Yang Yu nodded. After leaving Danding Peak, Yang Lei, Aoi and Night Sorrow went to Xiaogu town and found the person in charge of maintaining order. The leader of the patrol team this time was Feng Yan, a disciple of Wuwei Peak's Yi Shui. He was also ranked 7th on the Yuan leaderboard. The situation has been a little tense recently. Let Night Sorrow assist you in Xiaogu town for a few days. Yang Lei said to Feng Yan. Thank you, Elder. Disciple was just worried that the situation would be too tense to control. Feng Yan said happily. Percent first tick hair, 13, stay here. They will probably be here in a few days. As for big senior brother, I will go and greet him with 6th senior sister. We will come to visit you later. Yang Lei said to Night Sorrow. All right. Night Sorrow nodded. After Aoi and Yang Lei left, Feng Yan pulled Night Sorrow to an inn. Uncle Master, I have always wanted to treat you to a drink but never had the chance. Since we are free today, why don't we drink to our heart's content? Boss, bring the meat and wine up. Alright, let's drink to our heart's content. Night Sorrow was also in a good mood. The two of them grabbed the beef and drank the wine in big mouthfuls. Two dishonest people. How can I miss out on such a thing? Shi Yunhai came. Seeing Night Sorrow and Feng Yan drinking, he pulled a chair and joined in. Subsequently, more and more people came to drink. Lan Yu, Huang Qian, Danding Peak's Chen Yun and the rest all joined in. Uncle Master Knight, we are all disciples on the Yuan leaderboard. We should take care of each other. Let me remind you, you have offended my Uncle Master Lin Jingyi. You may end up in a terrible state. Lan Yu said after drinking a mouthful of wine. I'll go and apologize when I have the time. Night Sorrow said. If apologizing works, then the world will be peaceful. You had better think of a way to resolve this. Otherwise, you can ask your master to come forward and ask for her hand in marriage. Once you accept her, everything will be settled. Lan Yu said with a smile. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Night Sorrow put down the wine bowl in his hand and said. What did you say? Just as Night Sorrow was speaking, Lin Jingyi entered the inn. Currently, Feng Yan was in charge of the safety of Grass Valley Town. He was the leader of the patrol team. However, the Medicine Valley had also sent out a second-generation disciple to hold the fort. This was a sect mission. There was a certain amount of merit points as a reward. Coincidentally, the person who had accepted this mission was Lin Jingyi. What? What did I say? Looking at Lin Jingyi's cold face, Night Sorrow knew that she was looking for trouble. At the same time, he was displeased. I'm asking you. What did you say just now? Lin Jingyi said as she took 2 steps in front of Night Sorrow. I said it's impossible. What's wrong? Night Sorrow stood up and asked. Have you grown hair on your head? Lin Jingyi's body flashed and kicked Night Sorrow's abdomen, causing Night Sorrow to retreat 6 to 7 steps. Lin Jingyi's speed was too fast. Night Sorrow couldn't dodge at all. I'll remember this. Kill me today if you can. Night Sorrow wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. With a wave of his arm, 4 sky-piercing spears appeared in his hands. Junior Master Lin, please calm down. Lan Yu quickly stood in front of Lin Jingyi. Junior Master Lin, you've gone overboard. Feng Yan and Shi Yunhai stood in front of Night Sorrow. Are the few of you rebelling? Lin Jingyi looked coldly at Shi Yunhai and Feng Yan. We don't have any intention of rebelling. However, Junior Master Lin, you can't go overboard. Feng Yan said. Yunhai, Feng Yan, Qin Yun. Move aside. I want to see if she can kill me today. Night Sorrow took 2 steps forward. Do you think I don't dare? Lin Jingyi looked at Night Sorrow with an ashen face. Overbearing. You've always been overbearing. I believe you dare. Come on. Today, I'll go all out with crepe myrtle. Let's see what you can do. Night Sorrow's true chi and myriad Dao Tome's energy were channeled into his arms. As long as Lin Jingyi moved, he would shoot the sky-piercing spears. At this moment, he was furious. All along, Night Sorrow had tried his best to avoid crepe myrtle's matters. Every time, he would accompany her with a smile. Even at Danding Cliff, when Lin Jingyi's attitude was not good, he would welcome her with a smile. However, when Lin Jingyi attacked him directly, he could not accept it. Lin Jingyi squinted her eyes and looked at Night Sorrow. She did not expect Night Sorrow's reaction to be so strong. She was a little regretful. She should not have attacked Night Sorrow directly. However, now that Night Sorrow did not give her any face, she had no way to resolve the situation. She also understood that as long as she attacked, the 4 short spears in Night Sorrow's hand would be shot out. The power must be amazing. Junior Master, let's forget about this. It's not good to make a big deal out of it. Lan Yu said. Whose side are you on? Lin Jingyi looked at Lan Yu. Chapter 205. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? Say net, providing you with interesting novels to read. While they were in a stalemate, a woman entered the inn. She was wearing a purple dress with a thin veil covering her face. Her face was also covered by a white veil. Love go little say netku. The woman came to Night Sorrow's side. Are you alright? I'm here. I'm fine, let's go. Night Sorrow kept the 4 sky-piercing spears into his storage ring and said to the veiled woman. No, since they bullied you, you have to fight back. Is it honorable for a level 5 spirit-severing stage cultivator to attack a chi-gathering stage cultivator? If you want to fight, I'll accept it. The woman stood in front of Night Sorrow. Forget it, this is a conflict between us. It's nothing, let's go. Night Sorrow did not want Sikong Chuyu to cause too much of a commotion, nor did he want Sikong Chuyu to stand up for him. Sikong Chuyu was not willing to give up like this, but Night Sorrow pulled him back, so he could only leave. After leaving the inn, Night Sorrow summoned Tianyu and brought Sikong Chuyu towards the Taishan Peak. Martial uncle, what you did today was wrong. You can't just hit people directly. Luckily, martial uncle stopped in the end. If you hit both of them, this matter would be blown out of proportion. Lan Yu said. Hit what? They are peak level 4 spirit-severing stage cultivators. Lin Jingyi glared at Lan Yu and turned to leave. Lan Yu, Feng Yan, Shi Yunhai, and Qin Yun looked at each other. When did Night Sorrow have such a fierce person by his side? Senior sister Lan Yu, I think that girl is quite young. From her gaze, she seems to be much younger than Junior Master Lin, Feng Yan said. Sigh, Junior Master Lin has gone overboard this time. I'm worried that this matter won't end just like that. Junior Master Yi probably won't say anything, but this matter will still spread to Taishan Peak. Given the temper of Junior Master Aoi and Junior Master Yang Lei, they will definitely not let this matter rest, Feng Yan said. What should we do? Lan Yu was a little anxious. What should we do? Hurry back and report this to Martial Uncle Tang. What the hell is going on? Shi Yunhai muttered. You guys can continue bickering. I'm leaving first. Lan Yu and Huang Qian both got up and left. Today's matter was nothing if it was said to be small, but if it was said to be big then it was very big. Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu went directly to the Tai Xian Hall. He wanted to know Gong Xian's opinion. In front of the Tai Xian Hall, Night Sorrow got off the Tianyu. When he jumped to the ground, he suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. Night Sorrow, are you okay? Sikong Chuyu anxiously supported Night Sorrow. I'm fine. My internal organs were a little shaken. This is blood clot, Night Sorrow said as he wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. What happened to 13? Gong Xian, Wu Qi, Hua Nan, Aoi and the rest all walked out of the hall. Nothing much. I just accidentally got hurt. Senior brother, can I bring her to Bamboo Forest Peak for a while? Night Sorrow looked at Gong Xian and asked. Of course. Go directly to where I used to live. Bamboo Forest Peak will be your territory in the future. Also, what happened to you? Gong Xian frowned and looked at Night Sorrow. It's nothing. Senior brothers and sisters, I'll bring Chuyu to Bamboo Forest Peak. Night Sorrow bowed to Gong Xian and the rest. Chuyu thanks senior brothers and sisters for taking care of her. Sikong Chuyu also bowed slightly. Then go. Gong Xian nodded. Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu left. Gong Xian's face turned cold. Old 9, you and 11 go and find out where 13 went and where she got hurt. Yang Lei and Mo Chen nodded and left Tai Xian Hall. Their first stop was Caogu Town. Yang Lei and Night Sorrow parted not long ago at Caogu Town. When they arrived at Caogu Town, Yang Lei and Mo Chen stopped Feng Yan, Shi Yunhai and the rest who were about to leave. Do you know what happened to Night Sorrow here? Yang Lei asked. I'm not sure. Feng Yan said softly. He didn't want to hide it for Lin Jingyi, but he didn't want to have any conflicts in Medicine Valley. Not sure. Don't you know that Night Sorrow will vomit blood and have a footprint on his abdomen? Yang Lei roared. Is Martial Uncle Night's injury very serious? Feng Yan asked. Try being kicked in your dantian by a rank 4 cultivator. Shi Yunhai muttered. Who did it? Mo Chen's face was filled with murderous intent. He heard Shi Yunhai's words and knew that Night Sorrow was injured by a rank 4 cultivator. Martial uncles, this is just a small conflict within the sect. Why don't you calm down? Qinyan said. A small conflict within the sect? As a disciple of Medicine Valley, it's right for you to want to calm down the conflict. However, as Night Sorrow's senior sister and senior brother, we have our own opinions. If someone of the same rank seriously injured Night Sorrow, then we have nothing to say. A rank 4 spirit severing stage cultivator actually dared to attack a Yuan gathering stage disciple. Who was it? Yang Lei asked coldly. What's there to hide? It's wrong to kick in the dantian. If you don't say, then I will. It's Crepe Myrtle's martial uncle Lin Jingyi. Shi Yunhai said directly when he saw Feng Yan and Qinyan stuttering. 11th junior brother, go back and tell eldest senior brother that I'm going to Crepe Myrtle. Yang Lei said to Mo Chen and then got on the Green Eagle. She was calm. It was the calmness of extreme anger. I'll go now. Mo Chen rode the golden-winged eagle and flew towards Tai Xian Hall. This matter was serious. He wanted to accompany Yang Lei to Crepe Myrtle, but he felt that it was important to call for help. Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu came to the bamboo house where Gong Xian used to live and started to tidy it up. There were 3 rooms in the bamboo house. Other than the east and west rooms, there was also a living room in the middle. Fortunately, there are 2 rooms. If there was only 1 room, then it would be troublesome. Night Sorrow said with a smile. 1 room? Then you can stay under the roof. Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow with a smile. Hee, that's quite ruthless. But I mind. Night Sorrow took out a wine jar and drank a mouthful of wine. In the future, drink less wine and drink more tea. Sikong Chuyu stared at Night Sorrow. Oh right, are you really okay? I'm really okay. Yi Shang knocked on his chest and abdomen. He was very glad. If he didn't have the Myriad Dao treasured book to protect him, Lin Jingyi's kick would have crippled his dantian or severely injured him. You rest for a while. I'll get some water to make tea. Sikong Chuyu smiled at Night Sorrow and went to the stream in front to get water to make tea. Looking at Sikong Chuyu's swaying figure, Night Sorrow was very satisfied. He liked this feeling very much. Yang Lei went directly to the front of Crepe Myrtle's main hall. Lin Jingyi, get out here. Oh head. Hearing Yang Lei's words, Tang Qianqian's expression changed after hearing Lan Yu and Huang Qian's report. She knew this was going to be troublesome, but she didn't expect it to come so quickly. Junior sister Yang, why are you so angry? We can sit down and talk. Tang Qianqian said. Chapter 206. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Tang Qianqian's expression changed. She knew what the sound of wind and thunder was. It was the sign of the sect's ultimate skill, wind and thunder sword technique. Elder Yang, please calm down. We will definitely resolve this matter. Lan Yu, please ask your martial uncle Lin to come out. Tang Qianqian knew that things were getting troublesome. Lin Jingyi might have caused a big problem. She heard Lan Yu's report just now and knew that Lin Jingyi had gone overboard. She kicked Night Sorrow's dantian without mercy. This was really inexcusable. If 13 doesn't join Crepe Myrtle, you will cripple him? Let's see what kind of explanation you can give me today. Yang Lei said with a cold face. Soon, under Lan Yu's lead, Lin Jingyi arrived. You crazy woman. When Yang Lei saw Lin Jingyi, she waved her sword and slashed out. The sound of wind and thunder could be heard as a beam of sword chi flew towards Lin Jingyi. Lin Jingyi's expression changed and she dodged to the side. When the ray of sword chi passed by, a deep black ditch appeared on the bluestone ground in front of the crepe myrtle hall as if it was struck by lightning. Elder Yang, please don't attack first. Let's talk things over. A few second-generation disciples of crepe myrtle stood in front of Lin Jingyi. There's nothing to talk about. She wants to cripple my junior brother, so I will cripple her. No one can stop me. Get out of my way. Yang Lei waved her black sword and said. At this time, Gong Xian, Wu Qi, Hua Nan and the others had all arrived. Only Mo Chen was not here. He was sent out by Gong Xian. Number 4 first, Peak Master Gong. Tang Qianqian cupped her hands and greeted Gong Xian. Junior sister Tang, I don't want to talk too much about what happened. Lin Jingyi has gone too far in this matter. She directly attacked the Dantian of the Yuan leaderboard's leader with a cultivation of rank 4. This matter can't be justified no matter where you go. Hand him over. Peak Master Gong, junior sister Lin is in the wrong. We can solve it. We can apologize or anything. Tang Qianqian said. No. Call him out. Gong Xian said coldly. Gong Xian, are you trying to show off in crepe myrtle? Yi Xiling appeared. I wouldn't dare. A disciple of crepe myrtle's level 5 spirit separating stage disciple attacked a Taishian Peak's Yuan gathering stage disciple, and even directly attacked his Dantian. Peak Lord Yi, can you teach me how to deal with this? Gong Xian looked at Yi Xiling and said coldly. After hearing Gong Xian's words, Yi Xiling's expression changed. If this was true, then it was serious. Who did you hurt? Yi Xiling asked. She really hoped that it wasn't Night Sorrow. Yang Lei's answer was filled with killing intent, causing Yi Xiling's heart to sink to the bottom. Jingyi, come out. Tell us what happened. Yi Xiling looked at Lin Jingyi, who was blocked by the crepe myrtle's second-generation disciple. Lin Jingyi walked out with her head lowered. After a moment, she straightened her body. They were drinking in Saogu Town's tavern and spoke rudely. That was why I attacked them. I admit that I was too harsh. While Lin Jingyi was speaking, Yu Yangyu and Mo Chen arrived. Greetings, Valley Master. Yi Xiling and the others all bowed in greeting. There's no need to stand on ceremony. I'm not here as the Valley Master. I'm here as Night Sorrow's master to ask. He spoke rudely. How rudely would that require? As for you, a level 5 spirit separating stage cultivator, kick his Dantian. Yu Yangyu looked at Lin Jingyi. Valley Master, don't you think this is a little too serious? Valley Master has many things to do. We can handle these matters. Yi Xiling's mouth twitched as she spoke. If he can't even be a master, why should he be the Valley Master? If it was Night Sorrow's fault, I would have brought him to Crepe Myrtle to apologize. Now tell us, how did he speak rudely? Yu Yangyu spoke. It's my fault. I shouldn't have attacked Junior Night Sorrow so harshly. Lin Jingyi bowed and said. Just saying you're wrong is enough. I'll give you a chance now. Pick up your weapon and have the courage to attack Night Sorrow. Fight with me. Yang Lei looked coldly at Lin Jingyi. Old Nine, wait a moment. Lin Jingyi, if Night Sorrow spoke rudely, I would have punished him. Why don't you tell us how Night Sorrow spoke rudely? Yu Yangyu asked coldly. Lin Jingyi lowered her head and didn't speak. Can't say anything? Peak Master Yi, is this Crepe Myrtle's style? Deal with it as you see fit. I want the results tomorrow. If you can't satisfy me, you'll have to bear the consequences. All of you, go back. Yu Yangyu looked at Yi Xiling and said. Then, he waved at his disciples and turned to leave. After Yu Yangyu left with his people, Yi Xiling looked at Lin Jingyi. Jingyi, do you know how serious this matter is? Night Sorrow is so young, yet he used more than a year to cultivate from having no cultivation base to the peak stage of element gathering tier. He even became the first on the Yuan ranking board with a cultivation base in the middle stage of element gathering tier. The treatment that the Grand Elder of the sect gave to a heaven-grade disciple, and you want to cripple him? Yi Xiling was almost roaring when she said this. Master, disciple knows her mistake, Lin Jingyi said softly. Qianqian, looks like you know the cause of this matter. Tell us, don't try to cover it up. You know that this matter can't be covered up. I believe the Grand Elder will also ask about it, Yi Xiling sighed. She had high hopes for Night Sorrow, but she didn't expect this to happen. Tang Qianqian asked Lan Yu to come over and tell her the whole story. Good, very good. You don't like him, but would he like you? Tomorrow, go to Taishan Peak and apologize. If the Taishan Peak doesn't accept, you can cripple your own cultivation base and commit suicide. Yi Xiling said coldly. Just as Yi Xiling was speaking, the Grand Elder brought Feng Yan and Shi Yunhai over. I knew something was going to happen. We're too late. The Grand Elder knows? Yi Xiling's expression was very ugly. Yes. Yang Lei and Mo Chen knew that Night Sorrow was injured, so they went to Caogu town to investigate. These two disciples were stopped by Yang Lei on the spot and told her the details. They were worried that the matter would blow up, so they reported it to me. I heard that Night Sorrow directly vomited blood at the entrance of Taishan Peak. Xiling, this is too much. The Grand Elder sighed. It seems that Night Sorrow didn't tell senior brother and senior sister about this matter. If he did, with Yang Lei and Gong Xian's temper, they wouldn't have sent people to Caogu town. This child is good. Qianqian, bring Jingyi to apologize tomorrow. If they don't accept, you know what to do. This bottle of elixir is also given to Night Sorrow. Yi Xiling sighed and said. Xiling, you have to go too. You know the Valley Master's temper when he protects his disciples. The Grand Elder smiled bitterly. After Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu cleaned up the bamboo hut, they drank tea and chatted. Sikong Chuyu even specially checked on Night Sorrow's injuries. While the two were chatting, Yu Yangyu and Gong Xian arrived. The others were sent away by Yu Yangyu and didn't come over. Master. Junior Sikong Chuyu greets the Valley Master. Seeing Yu Yangyu, Sikong Chuyu, and Night Sorrow both stood up and bowed. Are your injuries serious? Yu Yangyu looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I'm fine. My internal organs are a little shaken. Master, you know? Night Sorrow said with some surprise. If there's anything, just tell me. Crepe Myrtle will come tomorrow to deal with this matter. If the other party knows she's wrong, then let it go. After all, she's a woman. Yu Yangyu said. This disciple understands. Night Sorrow nodded. Chapter 207. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Thank you, Valley Master. Sikong Chuyu nodded her head. Yes. Sikong Chuyu nodded her head. You're welcome. Yu Yangyu nodded and left after chatting for a while. Night Sorrow, your master and senior brothers and sisters really cherish you. If I'm not wrong, they've already gone to cause trouble for that woman, Sikong Chuyu said. Sigh. I don't want to cause trouble for master, senior brother, and senior sister. Night Sorrow sighed. That woman is too arrogant. It's good to teach her a lesson. You haven't told me how you provoked her. Sikong Chuyu was more interested in this. Yi Shang simply recounted his conflict with Crepe Myrtle Peak from beginning to end. Just because you didn't want to join Crepe Myrtle, just because you rejected your master's proposal, she hit you? Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. Yes. That's embarrassing. I can't beat him, Night Sorrow said in embarrassment. She has been cultivating longer than you, so it's normal for her cultivation level to be higher than yours. That's good, Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. What? What's good? Night Sorrow asked. Nothing. Then why don't you agree? That woman's cultivation base is very high and she is very beautiful, Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. What does her beauty have to do with me? I don't like her, Night Sorrow said seriously. Then what do you like? Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow with her beautiful smiling eyes. Can we not talk about this? Night Sorrow blushed. Sikong Chuyu nodded. Night Sorrow's blushing face had already explained the answer. When they were resting, Night Sorrow stayed in the east room while Sikong Chuyu stayed in the west room. There was a living room in between. At dawn, when Yishang finished his cultivation, Sikong Chuyu also finished washing her face and rinsing her mouth. She also prepared water for Yishang to wash his face. I can do it myself. I'm not used to you, Night Sorrow said with embarrassment. You'll get used to it slowly. I don't know how long I'll have to stay here, Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. Is it because you're not used to me here? How about I go somewhere else? There's a bamboo house not far away. Night Sorrow was a little nervous being watched by Sikong Chuyu. It's good. I prefer this kind of life. It's simple, comfortable, and with you by my side. Sikong Chuyu looked at the nervous Night Sorrow. She wanted to laugh. She had seen many young masters, but Night Sorrow was the only one who wanted to avoid her. Without servants or ingredients, the two of them casually cooked some game. Not bad. 13. Add another set of chopsticks. Yang Lei came while the two of them were eating. Night Sorrow got up and added a chair, a bowl, and chopsticks. You two have a good life. Tomorrow, I'll arrange for the servants to deliver food every day. You can't delay your cultivation, Yang Lei said after sitting down to eat. Sure. Ninth senior sister, why are you here? Night Sorrow asked. Crepe Myrtle is coming today to settle yesterday's matter. I'm here to call you. You've given them face. They dare to use any means. Yang Lei was angry when she said this. Forget it. I'm a man. Why should I bother with a woman? I'm fine, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Yang Lei shook her head helplessly when she heard Night Sorrow's words. However, she admired Night Sorrow's magnanimity. Sikong Chuyu stayed at Juyuan Peak to cultivate. Night Sorrow and Yang Lei went to Taishan Peak. When the two of them arrived, many people had gathered in the main hall of Taishan Peak. Yu Yang was sitting in the main seat. The first elder sat on one side and drank tea. Gong Xian and Yi Xiling sat on both sides of the main hall. On one side of the hall stood Crepe Myrtle's people, while on the other side stood Taishan Peak's people. Yong Lu Jiu #FreeWatch Little C 13, you're here. Are you alright? The first elder looked at Night Sorrow and asked with a smile. I didn't expect the matter to be so serious. I've disturbed the first elder, master, and Peak Lord Yi. Night Sorrow bowed to them. Crepe Myrtle is in the wrong. Martial Uncle brought her here to apologize. You can punish her however you want. I won't say anything even if you cripple her cultivation. Yi Xiling sighed. She really liked Night Sorrow, but she didn't expect things to escalate to this extent. Junior Brother Knight, I'm in the wrong. If you have any complaints or requests for punishment, you can tell me. Please don't make things difficult for my master. Lin Jingyi stood up and said. Senior Sister Lin, you're too serious. You were just impulsive. Let bygones be bygones. I really didn't want to blow things up. I'm sorry. Night Sorrow cupped his hands and said to Lin Jingyi. Yi Shang was very happy to stay with Sikong Chuyu on Bamboo Garden Peak, so he didn't hold a grudge. Seeing Lin Jingyi apologize in front of so many people, he also felt somewhat apologetic. Jingyi, this is magnanimity. Night Sorrow came back yesterday, but he didn't say anything. He didn't want to argue with you at all. Look at what you've done. Yi Xiling looked at Lin Jingyi angrily and said. I know I'm in the wrong. I'm willing to face the wall and reflect. Lin Jingyi also reflected on herself yesterday. She knew that she had gone too far. In fact, she was too angry at that time. She didn't want to attack Knight Soros Dantian. She just kicked him to vent her anger. In the end, she kicked Knight Soros Dantian. It's good that the matter is resolved. I also believe that you didn't mean to cripple Knight Sorrow. In the future, you have to learn a lesson. If it was someone else who couldn't withstand your kick and had their cultivation destroyed, no one would be able to save you. This is the first time and also the last time. Yu Yangyu said. He was still very unhappy. I really didn't mean it. I was just angry. I don't know why I kicked him. Lin Jingyi wiped her eyes and said with a choked voice. Okay, that's it. Seeing Lin Jingyi cry, Yu Yangyu directly waved his hand and didn't want to listen to it. Knight Sorrow, I hate you to death. Lin Jingyi turned and ran out after saying that. Master, Knight Sorrow was speechless. Why did Lin Jingyi say that she hated him again? Yi Xiling also shook her head helplessly. She knew that when Lin Jingyi said that she hated him, she didn't necessarily hate him. After that, the Great Elder and Yu Yangyu grabbed Knight Sorrow and lectured him. Yesterday's matter was not right. It would make the conflict worse. If there were any problems in the future, he would have to face it. Yi Xiling took the pill that she gave to Tang Qianqian yesterday and handed it to Knight Sorrow. I really like you. Even if I lost face today, it won't change this. If you have time, go to Crepe Myrtle and have tea with me. If those girls bully you again, you don't need your senior brothers or senior sisters. I will help you vent your anger. Thank you, Martial Aunt. I'm really sorry about what happened today. Knight Sorrow said apologetically. Chapter 208. A Genius Remembering Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Xiling, our Medicine Valley needs such unreasonable people. Everyone knows about the situation at Taishan Peak. The Valley Master was domineering when he was at Taishan Peak. Now, the same spirit still exists at Taishan Peak. If the entire Medicine Valley has the same spirit as the Taishan Peak, then who would dare to strut around in the Medicine Valley? Great Elder said as he knocked his walking stick on the ground. It's because you're strong. You're just a bully. Yi Xiling said as she glanced at Yu Yangyu. You. Great Elder was a little helpless. However, he also understood that the reason for being domineering was because of her personality and her strength. A domineering person without strength would be beaten to a pulp. Knight Sorrow, I'm leaving now. Remember my words. Yi Xiling waved at Knight Sorrow and left. Gong Xian and the others were helpless. Yi Xiling was determined to poach Yi Xiling to the end. Even if she lost face, she did not give up on this idea. Peak Master Ye's greatest strength is her persistence. No matter what she does, she will never give up easily. This is what you all need to learn, Great Elder said to Gong Xian and the others. Gong Xian and the others nodded. They had indeed seen this point. Knight Sorrow, 9th level of Element Gathering Tier. You can't rush from now on. Take it slow, Great Elder said to Knight Sorrow. I understand. Knight Sorrow nodded. Then, Knight Sorrow bowed and was about to leave. He still wanted to go back and cultivate. Don't go out during this period. You must attend the celebration of Grand Elder Hua entering the Venerable One Realm, Yu Yangyu said. I will congratulate Grand Elder Hua, Yi Diandian said. That's not the case. During the celebration, many sects will come here with their disciples. Sparring is unavoidable. The sect needs you to fight, Yu Yangyu said to Knight Sorrow. Eldest senior brother, send someone to inform me when the time comes. I will definitely be there, Knight Sorrow said to Gong Xian. Alright, you go back first. I'll arrange for 2 servant disciples to go over later. Gong Xian nodded to Knight Sorrow. In the Medicine Valley, or rather, in the various forces, He was a disciple who was worth nurturing. They didn't have to worry about trivial matters. They had servants and odd jobs disciples to serve them. Only in this way could they concentrate on cultivating. When he returned to his residence at Bamboo Forest Peak, Night Sorrow saw Sikong Chuyu practicing her swordsmanship. Her body danced like a fairy descending to the mortal world. "You're back. Did you deal with it?" Sikong Chuyu stopped cultivating and asked. "Yes." Not only did she apologize, but she also gave me a bottle of medicinal pills. "It should be healing pills." Yi Shang took out the bottle of pills Yi Ling had given him. He poured out one pill and studied it. Then, he confirmed that it was a core fortifying pill for healing injuries. It was a high-grade pill that could be used when one's true energy was unstable due to internal injuries. "I'll give you half." Night Sorrow took out a jade bottle and poured the medicinal pills out. "I have some. When I'm outside, how can my parents and grandfather not give me medicinal pills?" "You take care of yourself," Sikong Chuyu said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow nodded and began to cultivate. He cultivated the wind spear art, the killing fist art, and the dragon leap steps together. While performing the dragon leap steps, Night Sorrow slowly integrated the artistic conception of Suiyun body art. The ingenuity of the dragon leap steps was its strangeness, variability, and speed. The artistic conception of Suiyun body art was its elegance and flexibility. These two aspects did not conflict. Sikong Chuyu was stunned for a moment when she saw Night Sorrow cultivating his body art. She also cultivated the dragon leap steps, but it was inferior to Night Sorrow's. In terms of flexibility, there was no way to compare. Moreover, it looked elegant and unrestrained. However, she did not ask. This was considered a personal matter. If it was inconvenient for him to answer, Night Sorrow would be in a difficult position. At noon, some odd-job disciples came over with vegetables, fruits, and other things. Night Sorrow instructed them to help Tianyu roast some food every morning. After that, they could go back. Night Sorrow knew how to cook. When he was living with Father Gu in Bamboo Garden Village, he did it himself. As for roasting food for Tianyu, Night Sorrow felt that it wasn't good to keep feeding Tianyu beast origin pills. If Tianyu liked it, it was better to eat demon beast meat if he had the time. What Night Sorrow hadn't expected was that Sikong Chuyu also knew how to cook. Moreover, his skills were pretty good. However, Sikong Chuyu didn't allow him to drink wine. He could only drink tea. In the blink of an eye, over 20 days passed. Although he didn't use origin gathering pills to cultivate, Night Sorrow's cultivation base had advanced to the mid-9th level of essence gathering realm. His myriad Dao Cannon's cultivation base had advanced very quickly. He had already reached the late 6th level of muscle strengthening. Although he wasn't far from the 7th level of muscle strengthening, Night Sorrow stopped cultivating. That was because tomorrow was the day of the celebration for Hua Yunpeng's advancement to the 6th rank Venerable Realm. Mo Chen and Chu Lingfei had come together to inform Night Sorrow. At noon, they had lunch together. Mo Chen wanted to drink wine. Night Sorrow looked at Sikong Chuyu. "You should drink when there are guests. I'm saying that you should drink less when you're alone. I'm not forbidding you from drinking." Sikong Chuyu felt a little embarrassed when Night Sorrow looked at him. Mo Chen and Chu Lingfei were also looking at him. 13. Not bad. You know how to be obedient now. Mo Chen smiled. 11th senior brother, you're teasing me. Tomorrow is the celebration. What do I have to do? Night Sorrow asked. The celebration, or rather, the establishment ceremony. Tomorrow, all the higher-ups of the Medicine Valley will be there. The disciples of the Origin ranking, Alchemy ranking, and Heaven ranking will also be there. There will be some challenges in between, Mo Chen said. Then I'll wait for the arrangement tomorrow. Night Sorrow nodded. Many people will come this time. The Golden Flame sect, the Freedom sect, and the Southern Dipper sect will all send people to watch the ceremony. They are the three superpowers. The Fire Tiger sect, the Tai clan of Nanyang City, and the O clan of the 8 Li Castle will also come. They are the first-class forces in the territory of the Golden Flame sect, which is similar to our Medicine Valley. But that was in the past. Now, they can't compare with our Medicine Valley. In addition, many people from the Qingshui sect will also come. Mo Chen poured wine for Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu. They will definitely cause trouble if they come. I'm the one who caused the trouble, Night Sorrow said with a smile. It's none of your business. The Qingshui sect won't make trouble in a day or two. During the celebration, these sects will send their disciples to the stage to compete. To put it bluntly, it's a process of fighting for face and slapping faces, Mo Chen said to Night Sorrow. But my cultivation is too low. I don't think I can do it. Night Sorrow was a little unconfident. What are you afraid of? Soldier against soldier, general against general. Of course, people in the energy gathering realm will compete with people of the same level. I'm the one who's depressed. I won't get any merit points this time, Mo Chen curled his lips and said. What do you mean? Sikong Chuyu asked for Night Sorrow. Why forever G long free of charge X, reading novel I. Chapter 209. Genius 1 second remember love go/little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Useless. Are you planning to stay in the core condensation realm forever? Chu Lingfei glared at Mo Chen. That's not what I meant. I just feel that it's a pity that I didn't earn merit points. It's a bit troublesome to go out and take on missions to earn merit points. Seeing that Chu Lingfei was a bit angry, Mo Chen hurriedly explained. Then senior brother and big sister Lingfei won't participate? Night Sorrow asked. Yes. Your senior brother and I are in the soul severing stage. It's useless for us to go, so we won't go. Chu Lingfei nodded. Then tomorrow, big sister Lingfei will accompany Chu Yu to watch the ceremony. Night Sorrow spoke his mind. Night Sorrow, don't you want me to accompany you? Don't you want me to follow you? Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Night Sorrow shook his head. There will be many people tomorrow. I'm worried that if I go out, I'll be noticed. You'll be easily discovered if you're by my side. Of course, I want you to accompany me. Okay then. I'll follow big sister Lingfei tomorrow. After hearing Night Sorrow's answer, Sikong Chuyu was very satisfied. After staying for a while, Mo Chen and Chu Lingfei left. After walking for a while, Chu Lingfei turned back to look at Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu, who were washing the dishes. She nodded silently. They get along very well. Baidu search love go xiao shua www.aichux.com. Mo Chen smiled. Originally, I was worried that Sikong's cultivation level and background wouldn't be suitable for 13. In the future, 13 might leave quietly. But now, I'm not worried. After cultivating for a night, Night Sorrow changed into Medicine Valley's tights and left the room. Sikong Chuyu was also ready. Here, put on the outer robe too. Sikong Chuyu put on Night Sorrow's white silk robe with red edges. Night Sorrow nodded. During this period of time, he had learned to accept Sikong Chuyu's kindness. Sikong Chuyu also covered his face with a veil. After pondering for a moment, Night Sorrow removed the hollow jade pendant from his waist and placed it in his bosom. Why didn't you bring it? Sikong Chuyu asked. I'm afraid I'll break it, Night Sorrow said as he patted his chest. Sikong Chuyu smiled. She felt warm in her heart. Night Sorrow didn't say anything heartwarming, but his simple actions showed the most practical things. He ran into Mo Chen and Chu Lingfei as soon as he walked out of the bamboo forest. I'm here to pick you up. In order not to attract attention, Sikong, come with me. Chu Lingfei said with a smile. 13, come with me. You're under a lot of pressure this time. The geniuses of Golden Flame sect, Su Yuan, Zhang Xia, and the little devil of Xiaoyao sect are all here. I've asked around. They're all said to be invincible at the same level. They're all at the peak of essence gathering stage, Emo-chan said to Night Sorrow. It doesn't matter. After they defeat me, it'll be more appropriate for them to say that they're invincible, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Haha. Well said. I don't think Medicine Valley can beat him. I don't think Lin Tianjue can do it. I wonder if EU from Wuwei Peak can do it. Emo-chan said. Baidu search AI go xiao shua www.aichux.com. Who's EU? He's very powerful. Is he stronger than Lin Tianjue? Night Sorrow asked. Lin Tianjue, how should I describe him? He's just a piece of shit. EU's combat strength is very strong. He's ranked 10th on the pill ranking and reached it at the 7th level of the core condensation realm. He has very strong combat strength. He's been in seclusion for a long time and has been doing sect missions. He's already at the peak of core condensation realm. That's good. This is the Grand Elder's celebration, the Medicine Valley's establishment ceremony. It'd be a shame if it was destroyed so easily, Night Sorrow and Emo-chan chatted as they walked. They didn't arrive at Taishan Peak because Gong Xian and the others had already set off. Riding on flying beasts, they went straight to the square of the mountain gate. This time, the seats set up in the square were different from those in the past. The Medicine Valley's seats were in the front. Some chairs were placed in front of them. Behind them were 12 groups, each with some chairs in front of them. In addition, there were also seats set up in the east, west, and south sides with some chairs. Emo-chan took Night Sorrow directly to the back of Gong Xian. 13th uncle has a seat, but we don't, Chu Ning, who was standing behind the seat, muttered. Then I'll let you sit. Do you want to sit? Yang Lei looked back at Chu Ning and asked. Ninth Martial Aunt, please forgive me. I'm just not awake and talking nonsense, Chu Ning quickly apologized. If there was someone that the third-generation disciples of Taishan Peak feared the most, it would be Yang Lei. Too many people had seen the rattan fried meat. Am I that scary? Junior brother Tao, let's change seats. 13th uncle, am I that scary? Yang Lei pulled Tao Yuan and sat in Tao Yuan's seat. She reached out and wrapped her arms around Night Sorrow's neck. Ninth senior sister is the best senior sister, Night Sorrow said with a smile. AIE initial D, start, ahem. 13th uncle, your words are hurting 6th senior sister's heart, Aoi coughed and said. 6th senior sister, you don't have to say anything. She is Night Sorrow's best senior sister, just like 9th senior sister, Night Sorrow said with a smile. 13th uncle is the best. This is the good wine that 6th senior sister made. If there's a battle later, drink some after it's over, Aoi said as she handed Night Sorrow a jar of wine. 13th uncle, you're too shameless. You drank all of 6th senior sister's good wine. The other senior brothers and I drank less than you in 10 years, Shi Tianlin said as he looked at the jar of wine in Night Sorrow's hand. 8th senior brother, do you want to compare how much 6th senior sister favors 13th senior brother? The result is that you won't have any wine to drink in the future. Yang Lei said with a smile. All right. I didn't say anything, Shi Tianlin said helplessly. How about this, after the ceremony is over, us senior brothers and junior sisters will gather at the little house in the bamboo forest. We'll have a good gathering and drink as much as we want, Aoi said with a smile. Thank you, 6th senior sister, Shi Tianlin and Tao Yuan said with a smile. In the middle of the main seats, Grand Elder and Yu Yangyu sat and chatted. Valley Master, Taishan Peak senior brothers and junior sisters are really close. This is something that other peaks can't compare to. This is also something that I'm proud of. I hope they can maintain this friendship forever, Yu Yangyu smiled. As the master, he was proud of the harmony between his disciples. Don't worry about it. They're all past the age of being competitive. There won't be any conflicts, Grand Elder said with a smile. Yu Yangyu nodded. He was relieved that none of his disciples were greedy. Previously, when he was appointed as the Valley Master of Danding Peak, he asked his disciples if they were willing to follow him to Danding Peak. However, no one went. If they followed Yu Yangyu to Danding Peak, they would have the chance to be groomed as the Valley Master's successor. Everyone knew this, but no one went. Even Night Sorrow didn't want to go. It was clear that no one cared about the status and identity. This made Yu Yangyu happy but also disappointed. Chapter 210. Genius 1 Second Remember Love Go/Shao. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. The Freedom Sect and the Southern Dipper Sect have both sent their elders and direct disciples here. Su Huantian, the Venerable of the Golden Flame Sect, is here to find out the truth, said the first elder. This is a challenge. Su Huantian's cultivation is much stronger than the Supreme Elder who just entered the Venerable realm. If the Supreme Elder can withstand it, the Medicine Valley will have no problem, said Yu Yangyu. Supreme Elder Hua has always been very steady and won't take risks. In this area, it's unlikely for Su Huantian to defeat Supreme Elder Hua easily, said the first elder. Yu Yangyu nodded. After Hua Yunpeng advanced, he had been staying at Danding Cliff to stabilize his cultivation and communicate with the 8-Dragon Cauldron. As time went by, almost all the guests had arrived. Then Xian Wu walked to the main seat. He was the host today. Xian Wu walked to the front of the stage and said, "The celebration for our Grand Supreme Elder entering the Venerable Realm will now begin. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for coming. Grand Supreme Elder Hua will personally thank all of you later." In the area of the Southern Dipper Sect, a man stood up and walked to the main seat. He said, "I'm Nan Jinyuan of the Southern Dipper Sect. I'm here to congratulate you on the order of the Sect Master. I'll send you 2 Southly Fire Stones. Baidu search Love Go/Shao Shua www.aichux.com. Thank you for your hospitality, Sect Master Nan." Yu Yangyu stood up and took the gift from Nan Jinyuan. "You're welcome, Valley Master Lu." Nan Jinyuan cupped his hands and left. Nan Jinyuan was the son of the Sect Master of the Southern Dipper Sect. His congratulatory gift was very important. Then, people from other forces came forward to present their congratulatory gifts. Everyone knew that the Golden Flame Sect and the Medicine Valley would fight. The Medicine Valley's Venerable might be suppressed, but what if he wasn't? It wouldn't be a good thing to offend the Medicine Valley, so they had to present their congratulatory gifts. The Fire Tiger Sect, the Tai Clan of Nanyang City, the O Clan of Aitley Castle, and the Green Water Sect all sent congratulatory gifts. The master of the Green Water Sect, Miao Shui, came. Though his son's arm was chopped off by Night Sorrow, he still had to present a congratulatory gift. Before the celebration in Medicine Valley, Miao Shui had gone to the Golden Flame Sect. Zhang Tianyi, the deputy chief of the Golden Flame Sect, received him and promised him that if he took over the Medicine Valley today, the management of the Medicine Valley area would be handed over to the Qing Shui sect. However, since the Golden Flame sect didn't launch an attack, the Green Water sect didn't dare to act recklessly. Without the support of the Jinyan sect, the Medicine Valley could kill the Qing Shui sect as easily as killing a chicken. The gifts from the Southern Dipper sect and Free and Unfettered sect were received by Yu Yangyu. The gifts from the other families and factions were received by Qian Wu. This was a matter of status. Now that the Medicine Valley had a venerable, it was no longer on the same level as the other first-class factions in the territory of the Golden Flame sect. As the chief of the Medicine Valley, Yu Yangyu didn't need to lower his status. Qian Wu had already shown great respect by accepting the gifts. The factions that came to congratulate the Medicine Valley all presented their gifts. Now, only the Golden Flame sect was left. Everyone's eyes fell on the Golden Flame sect. They wanted to see how the Golden Flame sect would deal with the conflict with the Medicine Valley a few days ago. As for the gifts from the Golden Flame sect, wait until your venerable arrives and has the ability to take them. An old man appeared at the front of the seats of the Golden Flame sect. Then, he sat on the seat that Zhang Tianyi gave up. "Greetings, Venerable Huantian." The disciples of the Golden Flame sect all bowed. All right. Yu Yangyu smiled. I heard that there are many talents in the Medicine Valley. Let us see them. Zhan Ping, go up and see if there are any talents in the energy-gathering realm in the Medicine Valley. If they are mediocre, just kill them. They are useless to keep, Zhan Tianyi said to a young man behind him. Haha. Well said. Vice sect leader Zhan is right. If they are mediocre, then there is no need to keep them. Who wants to fight? Hearing Zhan Tianyi's words, the great elder was so angry that he laughed. He shouted to the disciples of the Medicine Valley behind him. Disciple will fight. Just as Knight Sorrow stood up and was about to fight, Feng Yan stood up from behind the Wuwei Peak seats and walked towards the arena in the middle of the square. Why are you in such a hurry? When we need you, we will call you. These small fries don't need you. Yang Lei's right hand, which was wrapped around Knight Sorrow's neck, pulled Knight Sorrow back to his seat. Knight Sorrow nodded. At the same time, he looked towards the Medicine Valley. Then, he saw Sikong Chuyu and Chu Lingfei at an inconspicuous spot behind the Danding Peak seats. Seeing Knight Sorrow looking over, Sikong Chuyu, who was wearing a veil, nodded slightly. Her beautiful eyes blinked slightly as she signaled to Knight Sorrow. Turning around, Knight Sorrow's nose twitched. Yang Lei was too close to him. Her scent was wafting into his nose. Little gangster, what are you doing? Yang Lei, who was leaning against Knight Sorrow, scolded Knight Sorrow in a very low voice. Looking at the people around him, Knight Sorrow didn't dare to retort. At this moment, Feng Yan and Zhan Ping were facing each other in the arena. Original song, F.A., what's your rank on the Medicine Valley's Yuan leaderboard? Zhan Ping asked Feng Yan as he drew his long sword from his waist. 7th on the Yuan leaderboard. As for your position in the Golden Flame sect, I'm not interested, Feng Yan said as he waved the battle blade in his hand. Today is a good day. Then, I'll use your blood to dye this festive color, Zhan Ping said as he waved his sword and attacked. Feng Yan waved his blade to block, and the two of them started fighting in the arena. Feng Yan's flaming wind blade technique was swift and fierce. It was very domineering. On the other hand, Zhan Ping's movements were swift and his sword was tricky. Every time he attacked, he would attack Feng Yan's vital points from impossible angles. Feng Yan is a little impatient. If this goes on, he won't have a good chance of winning, Yang Lei said as she looked at the situation in the arena. Knight Sorrow could also tell that Zhan Ping was very cunning. He relied on his quick movements and tricky sword to attack Feng Yan, depleting Feng Yan's qi. The main thing was that Feng Yan's violent blade technique consumed more qi than Zhan Ping's. If this goes on, won't Feng Yan lose? What should we do? Knight Sorrow asked anxiously. There's nothing we can do. This is the arena. The Great Elder and the other party had made it very clear that this is a battle of elimination, Yang Lei said as she looked at the arena coldly. Just as Knight Sorrow was worried, there was a change in the arena. Suddenly, Feng Yan's body stopped. The battle blade in his right hand also stopped attacking. When Feng Yan stopped, Zhan Ping's long sword stabbed into his waist. When Zhan Ping's attack succeeded, it was also the moment when he was in danger. Feng Yan suddenly stretched out his empty left hand and grabbed Zhan Ping's right hand that was holding the sword. Following which, he swung the battle blade in his right hand down. Zhan Ping's face changed as he kicked towards Feng Yan's waist. Feng Yan ignored Zhan Ping's kick and swung the battle blade in his right hand downwards. No sound was heard. Everyone only saw a flash of blood as Zhan Ping's right arm was chopped off by Feng Yan. However, Feng Yan was also kicked back a few steps. Chapter 211. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with interesting novels to read. How could Zhan Ping block Feng Yan's attack when he lost his weapon and an arm with blood flowing out? Zhan Ping tried his best to dodge Feng Yan's 2 slashes and turned to run. However, his balance and speed had decreased due to the loss of his arm. Feng Yan caught up to him in an instant. Feng Yan slashed Zhang Ping's back with all his strength and shattered his internal organs. Zhang Ping's body bent backward as he let out a final scream. Then, Feng Yan kicked his body out of the arena. After killing Zhang Ping, Feng Yan went to Medicine Valley's side and bowed while ignoring his bleeding waist. Valley Master, Grand Elder, I've killed a mediocre disciple. Very well. A mediocre disciple is useless. Just kill him. Go and treat your wounds. Yu Yangyu waved his hand and threw a pill bottle to Feng Yan. Fire Tiger Sect's disciple, Guan Zhongyue, would like to challenge you. A young man from the Fire Tiger sect jumped into the arena. Medicine Valley's disciple, who would like to challenge me? Yu Yangyu asked. He understood the situation today. Fire Tiger sect, Tai family of Nanyang City, O family of Eightley Castle, and Green Water sect would stand on the Golden Flame sect's side to attack Medicine Valley. After all, these forces were affiliated to the Golden Flame sect. They all knew that no matter how the situation developed today, their current decision would not be wrong. Regardless of whether the Medicine Valley's Venerable won or lost, it would not harm their interests. If the Medicine Valley lost, they would have performed well in front of the Golden Flame sect. If the Medicine Valley withstood the attack, they would still have the Golden Flame sect to back them up. Therefore, the leaders of these forces had instructed their disciples to join forces to attack the Medicine Valley. As for the Nanda sect and the Walkabout sect, the Medicine Valley knew about them. Nans Henyuan had communicated with Yu Yangyu and both sides had formed an alliance. As for the Walkabout sect, it was hard to say. At least they were not enemies. Your disciple is willing to come. Enlightenment stepped forward. He knew of Guan Zhongyue. The two of them had crossed paths before. At that time, there was no clear victor. He knew that among the current disciples on the Yuan ranking, other than Night Sorrow and Lan Yu, no one could defeat Guan Zhongyue. Lan Yu was a woman, and Night Sorrow was not suitable to fight at the moment. Only he was the most suitable. Good. As I said before, there is no need to keep mediocre people alive. Whether they live or die is up to fate, the Great Elder said. Enlightenment. We fought a year ago. I wonder how you've progressed this year, Guan Zhongyue said, waving his sword. You'll only know after you try. I won't let you down. Although the arena was filled with killing intent, Enlightenment's face was still full of smiles. What a hypocrite. You obviously want to kill him, but you still have a smile on your face. 13, you should learn from him, Aoi said to Night Sorrow. This is the style of Danding Peak. Our Taishian Peak doesn't need it. If you want to kill someone, just do it. What's the point of wasting time? 13, don't you agree? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I think so too. Night Sorrow nodded seriously. He really couldn't learn from Enlightenment. You too. I say, you too. Tao Yuan looked at Yang Lei, who was hugging Night Sorrow's shoulder, and didn't know what to say. Yang Lei looked at Tao Yuan. What's wrong? Nothing. Let's watch the match. Tao Yuan turned to look at the arena. In the arena, Enlightenment and Guan Zhongyue had already started to fight. This was different from the previous matches between fellow disciples. They were using deadly moves. They're almost on par. That guy from Fire Tiger sect is already so hard to deal with. I wonder how strong Su Yuan and Zhang Xia from Golden Flame sect are. Mo Chen was a little worried. The situation was not good for Medicine Valley. 13, let me ask you. Are you confident of winning against such an opponent? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. No problem, right? I don't see how strong he is. He's just a little faster, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow was speaking from his own experience. When he was in the middle stage of Element Gathering Realm, Night Sorrow wasn't afraid of close combat because of his strength. However, because his cultivation of true Qi was low, his speed couldn't keep up with others. Now that he was in the middle stage of the 9th level of element gathering realm, coupled with dragon leap steps, Knight Sorrow wasn't afraid of anyone in the same level as him. Very soon, there was a clear winner in the field. In the first round, Qiming, like Feng Yan, injured Guan Zhongyue's right arm. At the same time, Qiming's left shoulder was also injured. There was a wound so deep that the bone could be seen. Blood had already dyed his battle robe red. Smart. Although the injury is serious, his combat ability won't decrease much. His opponent's injury is light, but it will affect his combat ability, Yang Lei said. In fact, that was the truth. Enlightenment's left shoulder was injured, but his right arm was still performing sword arts, so his attack power didn't decrease. However, Guan Zhongyue's right arm was greatly affected. He was suppressed by enlightenment and was forced to retreat. The injuries on his body were increasing. Then, at the edge of the arena, enlightenment killed Guan Zhongyue with one strike. However, he also stumbled. He lost too much blood and was a little dizzy. Fortunately, the battle was over. He persevered until he killed his opponent. Kyong Bijou. Free, look at the small queue. Some disciples of the Medicine Valley went up and helped Enlightenment, who was leaning on the ground with his long sword, down. The Medicine Valley was applauding. Compared to the Medicine Valley, the other areas were silent. Everyone could see that Enlightenment and Guan Zhongyue were on par. However, Enlightenment, who had rich combat experience, knew how to weaken his opponent's ability. In the end, he was the last one to laugh. Nansheng, did you see that? This is the embodiment of combat experience. Many times, the level of cultivation isn't the absolute factor that determines the outcome of a fight, Nan Zhenyuan said to a young man beside him. It was his son. Father, I want to go up on the arena, the young man said. Today's battle is not suitable. There must be a meaning to the battle. Nan Zhenyuan shook his head. Today wasn't a grand event for fighting. It was a grand event for one side to show off their strength and the other side to embarrass themselves. The Southern Dipper sect couldn't embarrass the Medicine Valley. Of course, they couldn't stand up for the Medicine Valley either. Very well. I don't know if the Medicine Valley dares to fight to the death. After you go up on the arena, don't go down until you die, Tianyi stood up and said. Hearing Tianyi's words, Nan Zhenyuan frowned. This was ruthless. They were going to fight to the death with the lives of their disciples. The faces of the people from the Fire Tiger sect, the Tai family of Nanyang City, the O family of Eight Li Castle, and the Green Water sect changed. If the Medicine Valley agreed, then the next battle would be a fight to the death. Those who continue to fight would have to face the endless battles even if they won. Tianyi, are the lives of the disciples of the Golden Flame sect so worthless? The great elder said with a cold face. This is the fate of the cultivators. Why don't you dare? Tianyi sneered and said. Great elder, disciple will pick you up. Lan Yu, who was sitting behind Crepe Myrtle, stood up and walked outside. Knight Sorrow exhaled, reached out and took away Yang Lei's hand on his shoulder and walked out of his seat. Lan Yu, wait for a moment. Let me do it. Master, great elder, disciple is willing to fight. Knight Sorrow walked out and bowed to Yu Yangyu. Chapter 212. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Knight Sorrow, step down. The great elder looked at Knight Sorrow and growled. At this moment, both sides were competing to see who was more ruthless. The great elder was unwilling to see his disciple lose his life so easily. 13. Yu Yangyu looked at Knight Sorrow and frowned. He knew what the upcoming battle meant. Master, it is Knight Sorrow's fortune to be your disciple. At the same time, it is also a kind of responsibility. As your disciple, I will not tarnish the reputation of Taishan Peak and Medicine Valley. Great elder, please return to the arena. Disciple apologizes to you. Night Sorrow walked towards the arena with the reincarnation spear in his hand. Just as the Great Elder was about to stop him, a figure flashed and appeared. It was Hua Yunpeng in a plain white robe. "Let him go." After speaking, Hua Yunpeng glanced at Su Huantian. He swung his robe and sat on the seat in the middle covered with red silk. That was the main seat for today. Will Night Sorrow be all right? Sikong Chuyu, who was behind Danding Peak, was a little nervous. Since Grand Elder Hua allowed him to go up, he will be fine. Chu Lingfei consoled Sikong Chuyu. Walking to the front of the arena, Night Sorrow took out 2 sky-piercing grass and stuck them on his waist. He waved the reincarnation spear in his right hand and said, "Medicine Valley, Taishian Peak disciple Night Sorrow. Please enlighten me." Did you see that, Nansheng? Calm and collected. In the face of a life and death battle, his heart is still as water. This young man's temperament is worth learning. Love Go Little Say Wang, Chu Nanjin Yuan educated his son on the spot. "Oh family head, you're O family's disciple, are you not going to give it a try?" Zhang Tianyi looked at 8 Li Fort's O family head, O Zhentian. "Oh Bin, you go and test his strength." O Zhentian hesitated for a moment and shouted to a disciple behind him. A young man appeared in the O clan's camp along with O Zhentian's words. He held a pair of blades, and walked towards the ring. The 8 Mile Fort's O family was the same as the Medicine Valley. They were both first-rate forces among the Golden Flame sect's subsidiary forces. They were famous for their drifting cloud saber technique, which was a dual saber technique. It was extremely terrifying. "Please make your move." Night Sorrow twisted his right wrist, and the reincarnation spear let out a soft hum as the tip of the spear pointed upwards. Bin stomped on the ground and rushed towards Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow's body did not move. The reincarnation spear in his right hand pierced forward. The spear's body was imbued with 20 layers of vibration force. His target was Bin's throat. Love Go Little Say Ku. When he was at the 4th level of element gathering tier, Night Sorrow had already cultivated 42 layers of vibration force. Currently, he could use 48 layers of vibration force. Recently, he had changed his direction. He did not pursue quantity, but rather speed and strength of vibration force. Seeing that Night Sorrow did not dodge, Bin's direction did not change. The battle blade in his right hand pierced towards the reincarnation spear, while the battle blade in his left hand was ready to strike. His target was Night Sorrow's chest. Ding! #starter H. When the battle blade in Bin's right hand came into contact with the reincarnation spear, it was immediately shaken off. Even his arm was shaken off. While Bin did not understand the situation, Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear pierced and flicked, cutting his throat. First one. Night Sorrow took a few steps back and spat out these 3 words. 13 is mighty. Mo Chen stood up and shouted. Then, the Medicine Valley's side was filled with cheers. Night Sorrow's attack was too domineering. Night Sorrow waved his left hand behind him to stop the cheers. Then, he looked at the opposite side and said, "Next one." Someone from the 8 Mile Fort's O clan came up to collect the corpse, but he glared at Night Sorrow fiercely. Then, a person from the Green Water sect came out. His name was Miao Xiaoyun, Miao Xiaojuan's cousin. "Today, I will use your life to compensate for our young master's arm," Miao Xiaojun said as he waved the long sword in his hand. "No need to talk nonsense. If you want my life, you can take it with your strength," Night Sorrow said calmly. "Then go to hell." Miao Xiaoyun stomped on the limestone floor, causing debris to fly everywhere. He leaped into the air and slashed towards Night Sorrow with his sword in both hands. Night Sorrow did not move the reincarnation spear in his right hand. Instead, he pulled out the sky-piercing spear with his left hand and threw it out. A black light flashed as the sky-piercing spear blasted away Miao Xiaoyun's sword. The spear pierced through Miao Xiaoyun's chest and brought his body to the edge of the arena. Night Sorrow stepped lightly on the limestone floor and rushed to Miao Xiaoyun's corpse. He pulled out the sky-piercing spear and checked that there was no trace of blood. Then, he stabbed the spear into his waist. Second one. It was a simple word without any killing intent, but it brought endless pressure to the people from the Flaming Tiger clan, Green Water sect, 8 Mile Fort's O clan, and Nanyang City's Tai clan. 13th uncle wasn't such a ruthless person in the past. Why is he trying to take someone's life today? Tang Tian was shocked. In his memory, Knight Sorrow was hardworking and persistent, but he did not have such a strong killing intent. Are you all pigs? Don't you know that there will be no truce until one of us dies? Fighting with others will consume a lot of energy. You will die of exhaustion. Yang Lei turned around and shouted angrily. No one is coming. I heard the Golden Flames sect has sent a lot of geniuses and monsters, Knight Sorrow said as he looked at the Golden Flames sect. While Knight Sorrow was speaking, 2 youths from the Golden Flames sect stood up. Sit down. Tai clan master, I heard your clan's Tai Fei is very outstanding. I wonder if he is as strong as this young man? Zhang Tianyi asked as he looked at the Tai clan. Tai Zhongyan, go give it a try. The Tai clan master of Nanyang City shouted at the disciple behind him. He did not send out the disciple Zhang Tianyi had mentioned. The disciples with potential in the clan were the future pillars of the clan. The reason he had sent out the other disciples was because he wanted to find out Knight Sorrow's strength. Tai Zhongyan nodded and walked toward the arena. He knew he was cannon fodder, but he had to act appropriately. If he didn't want to be cannon fodder, he had to kill Knight Sorrow. Tai Zhongyan had learned his lesson from his previous opponents. He did not take the initiative to attack. Instead, he stood there with a black iron staff as thick as his arm. Come. Let's see how strong you are. You are very sad, but this is the life and death arena. After he finished speaking, Knight Sorrow stomped on the ground and turned around. His spear was aimed at Tai Zhongyan's head. Meet me head on. Come. Tai Zhongyan raised the black iron staff above his head and kicked at Knight Sorrow with his right leg. Knight Sorrow did not pay attention to Tai Zhongyan's kick. He poured the energy of the myriad Dao Tome into his right arm and increased the strength of his kick. He did not believe that Tai Zhongyan could withstand it. Bang! With a muffled sound, Tai Zhongyan retracted his leg. He could not withstand Knight Sorrow's one-armed spear attack even if he was standing on 2 legs, let alone standing on 1 leg. He was forced to kneel on the ground. Pressing the black iron staff against Tai Zhongyan's chest, Knight Sorrow's reincarnation spear extended and retracted as he took a few steps back. Chapter 213. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? I will provide you with wonderful novels to read. Kill as many as you come. You sure talk big. I'm Tai Fei from Nanyang City. Let's see how strong you are. A youth from Nanyang City's Tai family walked towards the stage. Seeing this person, Lan Yu's expression changed. What's wrong? Enlightenment, who had finished bandaging her wounds, asked. 3 months ago, I met him while doing a sect mission. I lost and used my movement technique to escape. He's very strong. Lan Yu said with worry in her eyes. She knew that Knight Sorrow came out early to take the thunder for her. As a disciple of the Medicine Valley's origin ranking, Lan Yu was very clear that at this stage of the essence gathering stage, the lower-ranked disciples should be the vanguard. Knight Sorrow didn't need to come out so early. Knight Sorrow didn't want any disciples of the Medicine Valley to die. Tai Fei's arms shook, and 2-foot-long sharp claws appeared on each of his hands, emitting a cold light. Knight Sorrow waved his left hand and put on the azure claw gloves. Looking at the weapons, Knight Sorrow knew that Tai Fei was suitable for close combat. You want close combat? Sure, don't say I didn't give you a chance. Knight Sorrow stabbed the reincarnation spear into the ground, then crossed his arms and waved them behind him. His body began to emit energy. 13th uncle, what are you doing? Aren't you using your short hand to attack his long hand? Nangong Dai said anxiously. The opponent is a close combat cultivator. If we fight with a long spear, we won't be able to determine the winner in a short time and will consume a lot of energy. At this time, any consumption of energy is disadvantageous. Your 13th uncle is very clear. Nan Nan said to his disciple, Nangong Dai. At this moment, the battle on the stage had already begun. Night Sorrow and Tai Fei were fighting each other. Night Sorrow didn't probe. He had the same thoughts as Nan Nan, which was to end the battle as soon as possible. Using the dragon leap steps that contained the cloud movement techniques concept, Night Sorrow executed the breaking kill fist and bombarded Tai Fei. Seeing Night Sorrow's strong attack, Tai Fei retreated and at the same time, his right claw blasted towards Night Sorrow. Seeing Tai Fei attack, Night Sorrow's left hand, which was wearing the cerulean claw glove, met Tai Fei's right claw and struck out. Bang! With a muffled sound, their arms collided. After that, Tai Fei's expression changed drastically and he couldn't help but retreat. This was because his true energy was scattered by Night Sorrow's violent power. Next, Night Sorrow's true energy was like a wave that slammed into his arm, injuring his tendons and bones. This was the power of Lushan Venerable's famous consummate skill. After injuring Tai Fei with a punch, Night Sorrow spun around and sent a kick towards Tai Fei. Tai Fei leaned back, his left claw aimed at Night Sorrow's right leg. In the air, Night Sorrow's right leg swayed, dodging Tai Fei's left claw and continuing to smash towards Tai Fei's head. Tai Fei's legs shook, and his body retreated rapidly. Zhengji. Everything else /is/2 steel square root, addition I. After a loud explosion, the arena was filled with rubble. Yi Shang, who had missed his kick, quickly rushed forward and threw a punch at Tai Fei with his left hand, which was wearing the azure claw glove. Tai Fei, who was staggering, dodged Night Sorrow's left fist and stabbed his left claw towards Night Sorrow's chest. He was going to fight Night Sorrow to the death. At this moment, Night Sorrow's left hand hooked back, grabbing Tai Fei's left claw and twisting it. Kacha sounds rang out, giving people a horrifying feeling. That was the sound of bones breaking. At this moment, Tai Fei's right claw was stabbing towards Night Sorrow's chest. The two were too close. If Night Sorrow didn't let go of Tai Fei's left hand, he would definitely be injured. If he let go, Tai Fei would still have a chance. Of course, the chance was very slim. In this urgent situation, Night Sorrow leaned to the side and pulled Tai Fei's left arm. Then, he punched Tai Fei's throat with his right hand. Tai Fei was killed with one punch. However, Night Sorrow didn't manage to escape unscathed. Tai Fei's sharp claw left a few bloody wounds on his left shoulder. Fresh blood dyed his white robe red. He retreated a few steps and looked at Tai Fei, whose body had gone limp. The fourth one. Tai Fei, who had been punched in the throat by Night Sorrow, obviously had no chance of surviving. Night Sorrow didn't look at his injured shoulder. He had already used the energy of the myriad Tao Tome to stop the blood from flowing out. It was just an external injury. Night Sorrow was willing to use an external injury that didn't affect his fighting strength in exchange for a small consumption. Returning to the reincarnation spear, Night Sorrow took out a jar of wine and drank 2 mouthfuls. He then threw it to the side and said, "Next. 13th uncle, I'll wait for you to come back and drink." Someone didn't let the jar of wine fall to the ground. Feng Yan's body flashed and caught the jar of wine. He didn't care about the wound on his waist and shouted at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow turned around and looked at Feng Yan. He nodded and grabbed the reincarnation spear again. "Oh Chang, I'm here to challenge you." Another young man from the 8 Mile Castle's O clan stepped forward. "Make your move." Seeing this young man holding a 4 chi long battle blade, Night Sorrow knew that this was a ferocious opponent. Night Sorrow grabbed the reincarnation spear with his right hand and rushed towards O Chang. After going through 4 battles, Night Sorrow's fighting spirit was boiling. He had a thirst for battle. O Chang waved his battle blade and slashed towards Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear. He wanted to meet Night Sorrow head-on. However, Night Sorrow's arms had a strength of close to 20,000 jin. How could Oh Chang withstand it? The two exchanged 5 moves and Oh Chang's head was smashed by Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear. However, the violent vibration caused Night Sorrow's shoulder to bleed again. Oh Chang originally thought that Night Sorrow's battle prowess would be reduced because he was injured. However, after clashing with him a few times, he knew that this was a mistake. The price he had to pay for this mistake was his life. 13th Uncle's battle prowess is on a completely different level compared to when he was in the sect tournament, Enlightenment said with a smile. Yes. At that time, he was only in the middle stage of element gathering tier. Now, he's in the 9th level of element gathering tier. They're on a completely different level. Let them continue to die. Lan Yu said hatefully. Father, how is he so strong? Nanxing from the Southern Dipper sect couldn't believe his eyes. In just a few rounds, a cultivator in the 9th level of element gathering tier was killed by Night Sorrow. This was the 5th person. All 5 opponents ended their battles in an extremely short amount of time. The Medicine Valley really has a talent. In a fair battle, he's invincible within the same level, Nanjin Yuan said. Indeed. In a fair battle, he's invincible within element gathering tier. If it weren't for the later battles, he would have won without any losses, Xiao Qingfeng from the Xiao Yao sect said. Haha. You're qualified to be my opponent. I'm Zhan Xie from the Golden Flame sect. A young man in a black robe walked out from the Golden Flame sect. Shameless. He's fought 5 battles in a row and you're saying this? The disciples of the Medicine Valley all started cursing. It was better if Zhan Xie didn't speak, but once he did, it was too unpleasant. Zhan Xie? I killed an unknown disciple from the Golden Flame sect a while ago. I think his name was Zhan Peng. Do you know him? Night Sorrow asked Zhan Xie. You want to die? Today, I'll take revenge for my clan's younger brother. Zhan Xie was enraged after hearing Night Sorrow's words. Chapter 214. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Zhan Xie walked onto the stage and stared at Night Sorrow with his golden eyes. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Zhan Xie wasn't holding a weapon. He raised both his hands and looked at them. These hands of mine have killed many demonic beasts and many cultivators. You will soon be one of them. You should feel honored to be killed by the Golden Flame hands. After speaking, Zhan Xie clenched his fists and golden energy appeared on his fists. The Golden Flame School's ultimate technique, the Golden Flame hands that can shatter gold and shatter stone. Yang Lei stood up. The Golden Flame hands was too famous. It was even more famous than the Medicine Valley's Wind Lightning Sword technique. It was the ultimate technique of the founder of the Golden Flame School. Yang Lei wasn't the only one who stood up. The people of Taishian Peak also stood up nervously. The second-generation disciples all knew about the Golden Flame hands. The third-generation disciples who didn't know about it also heard Yang Lei's explanation. Master, should we let 13 come down? Aoi asked Yu Yang Yu in a low voice. It's not appropriate. Besides, 13 won't come down. Yu Yang Yu said in a low voice. His heart was also filled with worry. Night Sorrow glanced at Zhan Xie's golden hands and put down his reincarnation spear. Then I'll experience your so-called Golden Flame hands. Putting down his reincarnation spear, Night Sorrow drew a semicircle with his arms and crossed them in front of his abdomen. Zhan Xie charged forward and punched towards Night Sorrow's chest. Night Sorrow took a step forward and punched out. Night Sorrow's fist was infused with the 6th level of the tendon-strengthening realm's energy from the myriad Daos treasured tome. At the same time, he used the breaking killing fist. Bang! With a muffled sound, the two separated. Night Sorrow retreated 3 steps and his right fist started to bleed. Zhan Xie's situation wasn't any better. He retreated even more than Night Sorrow. His right fist was also dripping with blood. Both of them had suffered light injuries from this clash. Everyone on the Golden Flame sect side was shocked. If Night Sorrow's cultivation was at the core condensation stage or higher, then it would be normal for him to take on the Golden Flame hand. Now, Night Sorrow's cultivation was the same as Jean Xie's. Not only had he blocked the Golden Flame hand, but he had also forced Jean Xie back, causing Jean Xie's fist to bleed. This overturned their common sense. With a low roar, Night Sorrow charged towards Jean Xie. His left fist punched towards Jean Xie's chest. "I don't believe you can take a few punches." Jean Xie's left hand punched towards Night Sorrow again. With a muffled sound, Jean Xie was knocked back by Night Sorrow's punch. His fist was bleeding again, but Night Sorrow's situation was slightly better. He was wearing the Azure Claw glove on his left hand. Baidu search AI Go female sign Xiao say www.aichuxs.com. I also want to know how many punches you can take. Night Sorrow roared. He returned the same words to Jean Xie. He closed in and punched Jean Xie again. Jean Xie also punched out to block. His strongest move was the Golden Flame hand. If the Golden Flame hand couldn't force Night Sorrow back, then he would only lose. Night Sorrow used the Dragon Leap steps. Both of his fists continuously attacked Jean Xie. Jean Xie kept retreating, but Night Sorrow kept suppressing him. In the beginning, he could force Jean Xie back a few steps with a punch, but the distance between them kept increasing. By Night Sorrow's seventh punch, Jean Xie had already retreated a dozen steps. AI Go Xiao say W. Chu a dozen steps was nothing in front of Night Sorrow's Dragon Leap steps. After catching up, Night Sorrow once again threw out a fierce punch. This time, Jean Xie clasped his hands together and blocked Night Sorrow's fierce punch. However, the golden light on his hands had already dimmed to the point where it was almost invisible. Furthermore, he was forced back 7 or 8 steps. He lost his footing and fell to the ground. Both of their fists were bleeding. Their bones could already be seen. Ignoring the bleeding, Night Sorrow rushed forward. He arrived in front of Jean Xie and raised his left hand to slap down on Jean Xie's head. Yes, this was a slap. It wasn't a fist, it was a palm. It was a palm with an energy vortex. The energy vortex was about a foot in diameter. Inside the vortex was red energy. Night Sorrow wasn't using the killing fist, but the Zhenyu hand. Version caret, asterisk. Jean Xie didn't know that Night Sorrow had changed his move. He still clasped his hands together and attacked upwards. Bang! Night Sorrow's palm landed solidly on Jean Xie's fists. With a muffled sound, flesh and blood flew everywhere. All 10 of Jean Xie's fingers were blown away by the energy. All that was left were white bones. His palm was effective. Then, Night Sorrow kicked Jean Xie's chest, who was sitting on the ground. The sound of bones breaking could be heard. Jean Xie was kicked 3 to 4 feet away. Night Sorrow quickly caught up with Jean Xie. His right hand, which revealed white bones, landed on Jean Xie's head. Your Golden Flame sect has the Golden Flame hand, but my Medicine Valley has the Heaven Covering hand. You can die in peace now, Night Sorrow said coldly. Stop. Seeing that Night Sorrow was about to kill, Zhang Tianyi spoke up. Just as Zhang Tianyi spoke, Su Huan Tian moved. His left hand circled the stage and his right hand pressed down on Night Sorrow. When Su Huan Tian made his move, Night Sorrow couldn't move. His body was suppressed by energy. It could also be said that he was imprisoned. This was the power of the unity of man and nature. When Su Huan Tian made his move, Hua Yunpeng also moved. His body flashed to the edge of the stage and his left hand hit the stage. Then, he grabbed the air in the direction of Danding Cliff. His right hand hit Su Huan Tian's palm. When Hua Yunpeng made his move, Night Sorrow could move. Although it was difficult, he could still move. He grabbed Jean Xie with his right hand and his body landed on the Medicine Valley side in a few jumps. When Night Sorrow left, Hua Yunpeng and Su Huantian met. Their palms collided in the air. The energy exploded and the gravel on the stage flew. After the palm, Hua Yunpeng's body was pushed back. He was pushed back to his original position. The ground in front of him was shattered by his steps. You're only so-so. What right do you have to challenge the Golden Flame sect? Su Huantian shouted coldly. He indeed had a great advantage. He only took 2 steps back. Is that so? But the Medicine Valleys will is better to die than to live in dishonor. If you want to fight, then let's fight today. As soon as Hua Yunpeng's voice fell, his left hand, which had been grabbing the air in the direction of Danding Cliff, reacted. A white stripe flew from the direction of Danding Cliff and danced around Hua Yunpeng. Then, Hua Yunpeng hit the direction of the Golden Flame sect. Seeing Hua Yunpeng make his move, Su Huantian's expression changed. He immediately attacked again. If he didn't attack, the Golden Flame sect would suffer a great loss. After another muffled sound, Su Huantian was pushed far away. The sleeve of his right hand was shattered. The originally neat seats of the Golden Flame sect were now in a mess. Some disciples with weaker cultivation had blood on the corners of their mouths. This was caused by the sputtering energy. You want to be a tyrant in the Medicine Valley? You're not qualified. Hua Yunpeng said coldly as he pushed Su Huantian back. You should know that the Golden Flame sect is not a venerable. Doing this will not benefit you. Hand him and the people in his hands over. Otherwise, you'll regret it. Su Huantian looked at Night Sorrow and Zhan Xia, who was being held by Night Sorrow. Chapter 2:15. A genius remembers love in 1 second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Little bastard, you're courting death. Damn you. Seeing that Night Sorrow had killed Zhan Xia, Su Huantian and Zhan Tianyi were both enraged. Baidu search AI go female sign shao say www.aichuxs. So they could afford to lose the other disciples, but Zhan Xia couldn't. Zhan Xia was one of the 2 most outstanding disciples of this generation, and would have great achievements in the future. Otherwise, Su Huantian wouldn't have stopped the battle. You guys said that you won't stop until one of us dies. I'm just following your rules. Night Sorrow released Zhan Xia's corpse and said, You're dead. Zhan Tianyi looked at Yishang with cold eyes. He couldn't wait to kill Yishang. Zhan Xia was his nephew. Hua Yunpeng, is the Medicine Valley really going to break off relations with the Golden Flame sect? Su Huantian asked Hua Yunpeng. We've never said that before. Some time ago, our Medicine Valley told the elders of Golden Flame sect that we're affiliated with Golden Flame sect. We admit it, but we don't allow Golden Flame sect to interfere in the Medicine Valley. Hua Yunpeng looked at Night Sorrow with satisfaction, then turned his head to look at the illusory sky. It's good that you admit it. Su Huantian pondered for a moment, but didn't say anything else. He couldn't defeat Hua Yunpeng today, so there was no point in saying anything else. In addition, the rules of handing over resources should be revised. The Medicine Valley is willing to follow the previous rules, but since Golden Flame's sect went too far, we are not pushovers either. Hua Yunpeng sat back in the main seat and said. What do you mean? Su Huantian's eyes twitched. The Qingshui sect is an affiliated force of the Medicine Valley. The resources are handed over to the Medicine Valley. Why did the Jinyan sect accept them? Therefore, the resources that the Medicine Valley gives to the Golden Flame sect will still be calculated according to the competition. If the Medicine Valley can't enter the top 10, we will give you 30%. If the Medicine Valley enters the top 10, we will give you 20%. If the Medicine Valley enters the top 5, we will give you 10%. If the Medicine Valley enters the top 3, the resources will have nothing to do with the Golden Flame sect, Hua Yunpeng said. You guys are pushing your luck. Heaven Spreading Wings coldly snorted. Then what can you do if we don't hand it over? Yu Yang Yu stood up. If you guys want to fight, then prepare to receive my attack. Spreading Tianyi pointed at Yu Yangyu and roared. His nephew's death made him furious. Sky Wings, don't be impatient. Medicine Valley has a venerable one, so of course, we have the capital to renegotiate. Let's do it this way. Hua Yunpeng, I hope the disciples of the Medicine Valley will do well. Let's go. Su Huantian turned around and shouted at the Golden Flame sect. The disciples of the Golden Flame sect left. Knight Sorrow held the reincarnation spear and went to the center of the arena again because no one announced the end of the challenge. Alright, the celebration ceremony and the competition is an opportunity to learn from each other. Sect leader Lu can let the disciples go back. Nan Jinyuan stood up and said. What do you guys think? What do you think, Elder Xiao? Yu Yangyu cupped his hands at Nan Jinyuan and then looked at Xiao Qingfeng. The Southern Dipper sect and the Medicine Valley had already formed an alliance. Nan Jinyuan, of course, stood on the side of the Medicine Valley. He didn't want Knight Sorrow to die, but he also didn't want such a talent to fall. I don't have any objections. It's enough. Even if there are more energy-gathering realm cultivators on the arena, they won't be a match for this little guy. Xiao Qingfeng said with a smile. He also admired Knight Sorrow very much. Many people agreed with this point. When Su Huantian asked Hua Yunpeng to hand over Knight Sorrow and Zhang Xia, he didn't necessarily want to kill Knight Sorrow. Instead, he wanted to take Knight Sorrow away. A talent like Knight Sorrow should either be roped in or destroyed. Of course, roping in Knight Sorrow had to be done first. Yu Yangyu looked at Knight Sorrow, whose right hand was still dripping with blood, and said, 13, go down. Knight Sorrow held the reincarnation spear in his right hand and cupped his hands in the direction of the Southern Dipper sect and the Freedom sect. Then, he walked towards the seats of the Medicine Valley. What welcomed Knight Sorrow was cheering. The disciples of the Medicine Valley shouted crazily. 6 kills in a single match. Those who were killed were the best among those of the same level. This was the pride of the Medicine Valley. The shouts rose and fell one after another, becoming more and more intense. Knight Sorrow walked to the front of the seats of the Medicine Valley. He cupped his hands with his spear and said, this disciple has not failed his mission. I'm back. Good. Yu Yangyu spat out a word. There were too many feelings in his heart that he couldn't say out loud, so he only said one word. The Great Elder took out a bottle of medicinal pills and threw it to Aoi. Quickly bandage Knight Sorrow's wounds. Don't leave any hidden dangers. After returning to his seat and sitting down, many people gathered around Knight Sorrow. The top 10 disciples of the Yuan ranking had all come. Aoi helped Knight Sorrow take off the azure claw gloves that were stained with blood and flesh. There was blood and flesh of his opponents on it, as well as Knight Sorrow's own. After cleaning the wounds, Aoi applied the muscle revitalizing ointment on Knight Sorrow's wounds. Then, she used a medicinal cloth to bandage Knight Sorrow's hands, making them look like bare paws. Next, she treated the wounds on his shoulders that were caused by Tai Fei's sharp claws. Looking at Knight Sorrow's wounds that were so deep that his bones could be seen, Yang Lei was a little choked up. These damn people. They were so ruthless. Martial Ant Yang, they were all killed by Martial Ant 13, Qinyun said with a smile. Killing them doesn't relieve my anger, Yang Lei said hatefully. Martial Ant 13, you said that you would come back to drink with me. I brought the wine, Feng Yan said as he held the wine jar that Knight Sorrow had thrown down. Then why aren't you pouring wine? My wounds are the same. Can I still pour wine? Knight Sorrow raised his hands that were wrapped in a thick medicinal cloth and said. It's my fault. It's my fault. I'll pour wine right away, Feng Yan smiled as he took out the wine bowl. He pulled the wound on his waist, causing him to grimace in pain. Then, Lanyu picked up the wine jar and poured wine for Feng Yan, Knight Sorrow, and the others. Thank you, Martial Ant 13. Don't say that. Didn't I come back alive? Knight Sorrow smiled and drank the wine in one gulp. First release of W, 6 kills in a match. Other than Martial Ant 13, no one else can do this. Let's drink. Enlightenment held out the wine bowl to Lan Yu. While they were chatting, the celebration ended. The people of Golden Flame's sect had left, so the core condensation and spirit-severing stage battles were meaningless. To Medicine Valley, the celebration this time was very successful. Knight Sorrow was domineering in the arena. He consecutively killed the Origin Gathering stage cultivators of Golden Flame sect, bringing glory to Medicine Valley. Hua Yunpeng was the same. He didn't fall behind when he fought against the veteran honorable stage cultivators. Hua Yunpeng, Yu Yangyu, and the First Elder all went to Knight Sorrow's side. Are you alright, 13? Yu Yangyu asked. My injuries are fine. It's a pity that I have to wear this robe, Knight Sorrow said as he looked at his top-grade silk robe with a little heartache. Knight Sorrow's words made many people turn their heads. They didn't know how to describe Knight Sorrow. Yu Yangyu couldn't continue his words. 13, you have to work hard. We still need you in the upcoming resource battle. That guy called Su Yuan is the most outstanding disciple of Golden Flame sect. He's the grandson of Golden Flame sect's leader, the First Elder said. Knight Sorrow nodded. He then looked towards standing peak seats and realized that Sikong Chuyu had already left. After bidding farewell to Hua Yunpeng, Yu Yangyu, and the First Elder, Knight Sorrow cupped his hands to the disciples on the Yuan ranking and left on the Tianyu. Not far from the Taishan Hall, Knight Sorrow saw Sikong Chuyu. After letting the Tianyu land, Knight Sorrow went to Sikong Chuyu. Chapter 216. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. It doesn't hurt, Chuyu, don't cry. Knight Sorrow lifted his hands that were wrapped in gauze and helped Sikong Chuyu wipe her tears. You don't know how to care for yourself at all. Sikong Chuyu said as she wiped the tears on her cheeks. Looking at the weeping Sikong Chuyu, Knight Sorrow stretched out his arms and hugged Sikong Chuyu. I will be more careful in the future. Sikong Chuyu struggled for a moment before she stopped moving and leaned on Knight Sorrow. The two didn't move for a long time before separating. Sikong Chuyu's face was flushed red. I'm sorry, I was a little impulsive just now. Knight Sorrow lowered his head, worried that Sikong Chuyu would get angry. Okay, let's go back. How about we walk back? Sikong Chuyu looked at the somewhat reserved Knight Sorrow and asked. Knight Sorrow nodded and walked side by side with Sikong Chuyu towards the bamboo forest peak. After returning to the bamboo forest peak, Sikong Chuyu fetched some clean water and helped Knight Sorrow clean up. He also helped Knight Sorrow change into a clean robe and helped Knight Sorrow put on the jade pendant again. After helping Knight Sorrow clean up, the two went to the courtyard in front of the bamboo house to make tea. Knight Sorrow, you can't not cherish yourself. They are all crockery while you are jade. Sikong Chuyu poured a cup of tea for Knight Sorrow and said. Square root head hair %+, I will be more careful in the future. In fact, I am also a rotten crockery. Knight Sorrow said with a smile. What are you talking about? If something happens to you, then what's the point of me coming to the eastern Xian region? Sikong Chuyu slammed the teacup on the table. Knight Sorrow looked at Sikong Chuyu in surprise. At this moment, he understood Sikong Chuyu's intentions. After he finished speaking, Sikong Chuyu turned around. Firstly, he was angry with Knight Sorrow's words. Secondly, he was embarrassed that he had said something that he shouldn't have. In the evening, Aoi came over. You two seem to be having a good time. 13, are you okay? Don't worry, I'll be fine in 2 or 3 days, Knight Sorrow said. It's like this. Nans Henyuan and Nanxing from the Nandu sect came to Taishan Peak to visit you. Eldest senior brother asked me to come and see if it's convenient for you, Aoi said. Since they are here, it would be impolite not to see them. Chuyu, wait for me here. It's been chaotic these 2 days. It won't be good if people see you, Knight Sorrow said. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Sikong Chuyu smiled and nodded. She understood that it wasn't that Night Sorrow didn't want to take her with him. He was worried about her safety and treasured her very much. Sikong, don't worry. I'll return you a complete 13 later. Aoi smiled and nodded at Sikong Chuyu. Sitting on Aoi's azure eagle, Night Sorrow arrived at the side hall next to the Taishian main hall. The main hall was the place to deal with the matters of the peak. It was very formal and formal. The side hall was much more casual. Usually, the elders would come here to drink tea and chat. It was also the place to receive guests. After entering the side hall, Night Sorrow saw Gong Xian, Wu Qi, and Yang Lei talking with Nan Zhenyuan, Nansheng, and 2 other members of the Nanda sect. 13. Let me introduce you. This is the Nan Zhenyuan Hall Master of the Nanda sect 7 Stars Hall. This is young Master Nansheng. Gong Xian stood up and introduced them to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow greets Hall Master Nansheng and young Master Nansheng. Night Sorrow bowed to Nan Zhenyuan and then cupped his fists to Nansheng. No need to be so polite. How are your injuries? Nan Zhenyuan asked with a smile. It's just a minor injury. Thank you for your concern, Hall Master Nansheng. Night Sorrow nodded. I'm Nansheng. I admire you very much. I originally wanted to spar with you, but I feel like I'm too weak. I'll go back and practice first. Nansheng cupped his fists to Night Sorrow. Young Master Nansheng is too humble. Night Sorrow shook his head. Let's sit down and chat. Yang Lei pointed to the seat beside her to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow nodded and sat down. There are venerables and talents. It's only a matter of time before the Medicine Valley rises. Nan Zhenyuan smiled. It's just that the Golden Flame sect is too aggressive. Our Medicine Valley has always stood aloof from worldly affairs, but things don't go as we wish. Gong Xian said. Indeed. The Golden Flame sect is too arrogant. Their disciples are even worse. Some time ago, they provoked my niece. This matter isn't over yet. My father is very angry, and so are the elders of my family. Nan Zhenyuan said. Gong Xian could understand. The disciples of the Golden Flame sect were indeed arrogant. They even dared to provoke the young master of the Nanda sect. Their courage was not ordinary. After that, everyone ate together. Night Sorrow's bare paws were inconvenient, so Yang Lei took care of her. Night Sorrow, if you have time, come to our Nanda sect. I'll show you around, Nansheng said. Nansheng said. He had a good impression of Yishang, mainly because Yishang was strong, but he was very easygoing. Okay, I'll definitely go when I have time. Night Sorrow nodded. At that time, there will be many people who want to spar with you. My cousins all like to spar with each other. Just don't provoke my cousin. Our generation is no match for her. She also likes to torture people, Nansheng said with a smile. Is it the genius of the Nanda sect, Nan Liyue? Yang Lei asked. Liyue is indeed the most outstanding disciple of the Nanda sect in the past few hundred years. My father and the elders of my family all dote on her. Otherwise, they wouldn't have declared war on the Golden Flame sect. Nan Zhenyuan smiled. No wonder. The Golden Flame sect is indeed blind, Yang Lei said with a smile. After eating, Nan Zhenyuan, Nansheng, and the others left. Ninth senior sister, is Nan Liyue very powerful? Night Sorrow asked. Not very powerful, but very powerful. She entered the Essence Gathering Realm at 12 and the Core Condensation Realm at 14. What do you think? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and smiled. She is indeed powerful. Night Sorrow nodded. Not only does she cultivate fast, but her combat strength is also very strong. It's said that she has the Nanli Fire body. She can cultivate the Nanli Fire Chi refining technique with half the effort. She also successfully cultivated the Nanli Fire Sword technique, which is the consummate skill of the Nanda sect. Yang Lei explained Nan Liue's achievements to Night Sorrow. She's Nan Xing's cousin. She can't be that old. It's really amazing that she can reach this level. Night Sorrow nodded. Don't just look at other people's strengths. Are you weak? Today's 6-kill battle will soon spread. Your fame is not less than hers. It's just that you cultivated for a shorter time than her. Yang Lei said. I will cultivate hard and enter the core condensation realm as soon as possible. Night Sorrow said. Nan Liue's achievements didn't hurt Night Sorrow. Instead, it aroused his fighting spirit. In the Danding Peak Hall, Hua Yunpeng, Yu Yangyu, and the elders were discussing the future development of the Medicine Valley. Then, an elder suggested how to arrange Yi Shan's reward. Chapter 217. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. This little guy can't be overdone. Thanks to him, it would have been difficult for the others to win a single match, let alone a combo. Especially Zhan Xie. Love go little say, Chu, Hua Yunpeng said. That's right. If not for Night Sorrow, the Golden Flame sect, the Fire Tiger sect, the O family, and the Green Water sect would have continuously sent their disciples to the arena. The number of disciples on the Yuan roll would have been endless, Qian Wu said with a nod. The Medicine Valley can't be stingy with him since he was willing to risk his life for the sect. When he took back the Holy Cauldron scripture, I said that the sect would give him whatever he needed. However, there has to be substantial arrangements, the Great Elder said with a nod. He's not the kind of disciple who would make requests for himself. He would make requests for his senior brothers and sisters. How about this? He's the Valley Master's disciple. It's not convenient for the Valley Master to deal with such matters. Great Elder, arrange for the Merit Hall to make a set of claw gloves with the best materials, Hua Yunpeng said and made arrangements. Valley Master, you've accepted a good disciple. If you hadn't gone to the disciple recruitment ceremony last year, this disciple might have been mine, Yan Beibei said as he glanced at Yu Yangyu. That's possible. Love go little say, Chu, Yu Yangyu said with a smile. He knew that a disciple like Night Sorrow wouldn't be missed based on his cultivation level and temperament. Grand Elder, we Crepe Myrtle are all women and lack masculinity. Why don't we send Night Sorrow to Crepe Myrtle? Yi Xiling asked. The Great Elder glanced at Yi Xiling and smiled. Xiling, the Valley Master brought him to Danding Peak. He would rather waste time coming here to pay his respects than leave Danding Peak. Do you think he can go there? Only, one genuine R%, all the other R% are square root J, that's right. Your disciple almost crippled him. He even called him a hooligan. If he kicks him again, he'll be done for, Duan Lei of Cloud Sea Peak said. Duan Lei, are you trying to undermine me? Jingyi knows that she's wrong. Jingyi is an outstanding female disciple in our Medicine Valley. It's normal for her to be a little bit of a temper. Besides, if she didn't feel anything, she wouldn't be so angry, Yi Xiling said. Let's not talk about this. Everyone turned their heads to look, but they didn't see Su Chenbai. Valley Master, how do you plan to deal with this? Hua Yunyang looked at Yu Yangyu. There's no point in keeping him here. Duan Lei, North Pole, you two go and bring him back. If he resists, kill him on the spot, Yu Yangyu ordered. After receiving the order, Duan Lei and Yan Beibei left the hall to look for Su Chenbai. Did he run away? I haven't even seen that kid Su Mu in a long time, Lu Qinyun said. No one uttered a sound. They all felt that this was a possibility. Baidu search AI go female sign shao say www.aichuxs.com let Duan Lei and Bei Feng handle this matter. Also, make sure the Southern Dipper sect and the Free and Unfettered sect receive them well. We're separated by the Golden Flame sect, so we won't be enemies. An enemy's enemy is a friend, Yu Yangyu said. When Night Sorrow returned to the bamboo forest peak, the sky was already filled with stars. Under the starlight, Sikong Chuyu stood next to the bamboo in front of the house, wearing a white dress. Chuyu, why are you out here? It's so windy at night. Seeing Sikong Chuyu, Night Sorrow took 2 steps forward and struggled to take off his outer robe and put it on Sikong Chuyu. I just wanted to wait for you to come back. Sikong Chuyu smiled and looked at Night Sorrow. Don't be so silly. I'm not a child. You've been waiting for a long time, haven't you? Night Sorrow wiped off Sikong Chuyu's hair and held Sikong Chuyu's hand with a bandaged hand as they returned to the bamboo house. I used to think that waiting was a painful thing, but when I really experienced it, I realized that it wasn't. Waiting is actually a very steady and real feeling, Sikong Chuyu said. Night Sorrow stretched out his hands across the table and held Sikong Chuyu's hand. No matter what, you have to take care of yourself. I won't talk to you anymore. I'm going to cultivate. Being held by Night Sorrow, Sikong Chuyu was a little embarrassed. When Sikong Chuyu went to cultivate, Night Sorrow didn't stay idle either. He also returned to his room to cultivate. Now that Night Sorrow cultivated, he completely gave up on the soul-gathering pill and only ate the leopard muscle-strengthening pill. Night Sorrow's true chi cultivation was stable and solid. He wanted to prepare for entering the core condensation stage. But he didn't need the Myriad Tao treasured book. Now his Myriad Tao treasured book was officially developing rapidly. When cultivating, the Myriad Tao treasured book's energy flowed to his hands. Night Sorrow felt pain at first, then it became a smooth and comfortable feeling. This was a sign that the tendons in his hands weren't damaged. When the human body was injured, flesh wounds were superficial. If the tendons and bones were damaged, it would be troublesome. Night Sorrow's tendons had already been strengthened. So when he clashed with Jean Xia, although his flesh was badly mangled and his bones were exposed, his tendons and bones weren't damaged. Time passed very quickly as he cultivated. The night passed very quickly. Night Sorrow couldn't practice his fist or spear, so he cultivated his movement technique and then sat in the courtyard to rest. Come and wipe your face. Sikong Chuyu finished washing up and came over with a basin and a towel. No need. I should be able to take off the medicine in the afternoon. Night Sorrow saw Sikong Chuyu come over with a towel and quickly took 2 steps back. Why are you running? Sikong Chuyu looked at the nervous Night Sorrow and said with a smile. There's really no need. Night Sorrow shook his head and said. Then let me ask you something. If my hands were injured, wouldn't you care about me? Wouldn't you care if I washed my face or combed my hair? Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I won't let you get hurt. I will stand in front of you, Night Sorrow said. That's right. If you can stand in front of me, then what's wrong with me taking care of you? Sikong Chuyu walked to Night Sorrow's side and pressed Night Sorrow into a chair. Then, he took a towel and wiped Night Sorrow's face. Then, he combed Night Sorrow's hair and tied it into a bun. Thank you, Chuyu. I haven't done this before. Night Sorrow's hair used to be tied with a thin string at the back of his head and had never been combed. Very spirited. Not bad. Sikong Chuyu circled Night Sorrow and said. All right. If you say I'm not bad, then I'm not bad. Night Sorrow nodded. While the two were talking, the servants arrived. There were also 2 third-generation female disciples. 13th Martial Uncle, 9th Martial Aunt said you were injured and asked us to serve you, the 2 third-generation disciples said. At the same time, their eyes were looking at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow was their idol. After joining the sect for a little over a year, he became the newcomer king and first on the Yuan leaderboard. Both were incredible achievements. Yesterday, he had domineeringly killed 6 people in a row in the arena. Now that they had a chance to get close to him, they naturally wanted to take a look. Chapter 218. Geniuses remember love in 1 second go? We will provide you with wonderful novels to read. There's really no need. You should focus on cultivation. Go back. Night Sorrow waved his bandaged hand. The two female disciples were unwilling, but they still went back. Yang Lei's words were in order, and so was Night Sorrow's. Not bad. You won't move in front of a beauty, Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. Chuyu, you're attacking me again. Am I not moving in front of you? Night Sorrow looked at Sikong Chuyu and said. Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow and didn't say anything. In the afternoon, Sikong Chuyu changed Night Sorrow's bandages. He saw that Night Sorrow's hands had scabbed over, and the scabs were about to fall off. Sikong Chuyu was shocked. In less than 2 days, he had recovered to this extent. It was really amazing. However, Sikong Chuyu still insisted that he bandaged Night Sorrow again after applying the medicine. Night Sorrow didn't object and did as Sikong Chuyu said. In the evening, Yu Yangyu and the Great Elder came to Night Sorrow's residence. How do you feel? Yu Yangyu looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I'm almost healed. Chuyu thinks that I still need to bandage for a day, Night Sorrow said. Yu Yangyu nodded and told Night Sorrow to be careful. Su Chenbai had disappeared. They didn't know if he had left or if he had gone into hiding. After leaving 2 bottles of medicine for Night Sorrow, the Great Elder and Yu Yangyu left. At the same time, they told Night Sorrow to go to the Merit Hall to get any elixirs he needed. They didn't tell Night Sorrow that Hua Yunpeng had also arrived at Taishan Peak. If the Golden Flame sect wanted to attack the Medicine Valley, the target would probably be Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow was not only the pillar of the Medicine Valley, but also the signboard of the Medicine Valley. After the two left, the bamboo forest peak didn't quiet down. Lan Yu, Enlightenment, Feng Yan, Qin Yun, and Shi Yunhai all came. Some brought wine, some food. Qin Yun and Shi Yunhai carried a roasted elk. However, Sikong Chuyu had already left. She had left before they arrived. It didn't matter if Lu Yangyu, the first elder, and the others saw it, but if others saw it, it would be easy to leak it. Not bad, it's roasted well. Looking at the fragrant elk, Night Sorrow said with a smile. At the same time, he asked Feng Yan to cut off a piece of the elk with a small knife. 13th uncle, you're leaving a little behind so you can slowly destroy it? This means that the odd job disciples aren't doing very well. You need people here. Baidu search love go xiao shua www.aichux.com, Shi Yunhai said. Night Sorrow shook his head. They're all good. I like peace and quiet, so I let them go back early. You don't understand 13th uncle's realm. Of course, I don't either. 13th uncle, Martial Aunt Jing Yi asked me to apologize to you on her behalf. I'm not speaking for her. That day, she really wanted to vent her anger. Attacking your Dantian was absolutely unintentional. Lan Yu said. Night Sorrow smiled and nodded. I believe that. Let's forget about the past, but her temper, women all have bad tempers, Feng Yan said as he poured the wine. Feng Yan, are you looking for trouble? If you're looking for trouble, just say it. Hearing Feng Yan's words, Lan Yu slammed the table and roared. What are you saying? How would I dare to look for trouble with senior sister Lan Yu? It's just a slip of the tongue, Feng Yan smiled apologetically. But it's strange. Martial Aunt Jing Yi usually has a good temper. Us martial sisters are always willing to ask her for help when we have cultivation problems. I really don't understand this time, Lan Yu shook her head and said. This time, I made her lose face. I also feel bad. Night Sorrow said. These were his heartfelt words. At that time, he was very angry. But after that, he calmed down. Night Sorrow's hands were not convenient, but he could hold the wine bowl with both hands. Lan Yu and the rest also cut the deer meat into small pieces for Night Sorrow to hold a small knife with both hands and eat. The few of them drank for a while before leaving. Although they didn't say anything, they were very grateful to Night Sorrow for standing up at the crucial moment and saving them from death. After everyone left, Sikong Chuyu came back from outside. Chuyu, I left some meat for you. I also have the 100 herbs wine that 6th senior sister gave me. You should eat some too, Night Sorrow said. All right. I don't like to drink. Since the meat was left by you and there's good wine, then I'll have to try it. Hearing Night Sorrow's words, Sikong Chuyu was very happy. After all, Night Sorrow had always been thinking about her. When cultivating at night, Night Sorrow once again focused on strengthening his hands with the myriad Tao Tome's energy. When the sun rose, Night Sorrow came out of the room and sat in the courtyard. He used his mouth to bite open the medicine cloth and opened it. As the medicine cloth was opened, the scabs on Night Sorrow's hands all fell off. Not only did it not leave any scars, it even looked smooth and flexible. He clenched his hands hard, and his knuckles made cracking sounds. Sikong Chuyu came over with a basin of water and looked at Night Sorrow's hands. He said, "You've recovered well. Your hands are also white and tender. There are no scars. I feel that my hands are stronger than before." Night Sorrow took the basin and towel and washed up. Could it be because you absorbed the energy from the healing medicine? Don't tell me you still want to do it? Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. You're thinking too much. I don't have any thoughts of self-abuse. Maybe it's because I used energy to heal my hands these 2 days. I'll know after a few more days. Night Sorrow looked at the nervous Sikong Chuyu and said with a smile. After his hands recovered, Night Sorrow began to practice his fist and spear arts. Night Sorrow discovered his own weakness. The chasing wind spear art was not suitable for close combat. If he wanted to be powerful in close combat, he had to increase his speed so that his opponent would not have the chance to get close. If he moved his arms too slowly, Night Sorrow's arms would tremble and control the reincarnation spear's attack trajectory. He would change the reincarnation spear's trajectory in the shortest time possible to prevent his opponent from getting close. After cultivating for a while, when Night Sorrow was wiping his sweat and drinking water, Sikong Chuyu gave his opinion to Night Sorrow. He said that Night Sorrow did not do enough to coordinate his footwork and spear arts. He should apply the energy from his spear arts to his footwork. When he retracted his spear, he retracted his arms and pushed his body forward. His feet could move forward diagonally. When he attacked with his spear, he could use the recoil force to retreat. This way, his spear arts and footwork would be more coordinated. After listening to Sikong Chuyu's words, Night Sorrow continued to practice his spear arts. Cultivating according to Sikong Chuyu's advice, he felt that the results were indeed very good. Naturally, he borrowed the force from the force exerted by the reincarnation spear and transferred the reaction force to his feet. His body movement was indeed much smoother. Original, V first carat release. Night Sorrow cultivated until night time. When Night Sorrow was still cultivating, Chen came over and said that someone wanted to see him. It was Tianji Tower's law enforcer Dong. Isn't law enforcer Dong overseeing Tianji Tower? Why would he come to Taishan Peak? Night Sorrow was somewhat puzzled. I don't know. He said that he wants to see you. Chen shook his head. Chapter 219. A genius remembers love in 1 second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. What could have happened? Night Sorrow put away his reincarnation spear. Tianji Tower is well informed. You've accumulated quite a lot of experience during this period of time. You may get a higher level of attention. Go take a look. Sikong Chuyu said. Okay, I'll go take a look. Chuyu, are you not going? Night Sorrow asked. After all, Enforcer Dong had some connections with Sikong Chuyu. Not meeting. I came here this time because I want to be safe and steady. I don't want to meet anyone. Sikong Chuyu shook her head. She wanted to avoid all unsafe factors. All right. Night Sorrow nodded. He also agreed with Sikong Chuyu's point of view. Enforcer Dong was reliable. After all, the fewer people who knew about it, the safer it would be. In the side hall of Taishan Peak, Gong Xian and Enforcer Dong were chatting casually. As the person in charge of Tianji Tower's Danding City, Gong Xian had to take him seriously. Seeing Knight Soro's arrival, Enforcer Dong nodded with a smile. Gong Xian looked at Knight Soro. 13, has your hand recovered? I'm fine. Thank you for your concern, senior brother. Knight Soro nodded. Alright, Enforcer Dong. You guys go ahead and chat. Gong Xian cupped his hands toward Enforcer Dong and left the side hall. The matter between Tianji Tower and Knight Soro was an internal matter of Tianji Tower. Perhaps it was not suitable for him to know, so he left, and so did the others. Love Go Little Say Ku the only 1K version, everyone else is hashtag Pirate Sky, good, very good. The higher-ups know about your matter. Someone will come in a few days. They asked me to inform you. I don't know the specific situation, Enforcer Dong said. When do you need me to go to Danding City? Knight Soro asked. I don't think he'll be here tomorrow. It won't be so soon. The day after tomorrow. Go to Danding City the day after tomorrow and find a convenient place so that I can find you anytime, Enforcer Dong said to Knight Soro. Alright, I'll go to my 9th senior sister's mansion the day after tomorrow, which is the City Lord's mansion. If there's anything, just send someone there to inform me, Knight Soro said. Okay, this time you have a high chance of entering the blacklist. The people you defeated that day all received the Tianji Tower's attention. Tai Fei has a red list and has a chance to enter the purple list. That Zhang Xia has a purple list. You were able to kill Zhang Xia after 5 consecutive battles. This is a reflection of your strength. Enforcer Dong said with a smile. It would be best if he could enter the black circle. Knight Soro nodded. He was not as anxious as before because Sikong Chuyu was safe and sound by his side. After chatting with Knight Soro for a while, Enforcer Dong left. He was only here to deliver a message. As for Knight Soro's matter, he couldn't make the decision. His highest authority was to raise the red list. He still needed to be investigated and reviewed by the higher-ups. After Knight Soro sent Enforcer Dong off, he didn't see Gong Xian and the others. He directly drove Tianyu back to Bamboo Forest Peak. I just made tea. Come, Sikong Chuyu said as he poured a cup of tea for Knight Soro when he saw Knight Soro coming back. Thank you. Knight Soro took a sip of the tea and told him what Enforcer Dong had told him. Someone from the higher-ups? That means you should enter the blacklist. Under normal circumstances, the higher-ups of Tianji Tower won't easily come into contact with ordinary people. The red list doesn't qualify, and the purple list doesn't have a high chance of being seen, Sikong Chuyu said. Chuyu, what level of attention did you have when you were recruited into Tianji Tower? Knight Soro asked. Before I entered the 4th stage, I was a purple list. After entering the spirit severing stage, I was promoted to the black list and was then recruited into Tianji Tower. Sikong Chuyu didn't hide anything from Knight Soro and directly told him about his situation. Knight Soro nodded. I'll be going to Danding City the day after tomorrow. I won't be able to accompany you. It's okay. I'm quite comfortable here. I also need to sort out what I've learned in the past, Sikong Chuyu nodded. Knight Soro nodded and went to cultivate. When it was almost dawn, he found that his cultivation of the myriad Tao Tome had reached a bottleneck. It was the bottleneck of level 6 muscle strengthening. After eating some food, Knight Soro explained the situation to Sikong Chuyu and then went into seclusion to break through. He knew that the stronger he was, the more likely he would be able to obtain the approval of Tianji Tower. To enter level 7 muscle strengthening, he had to strengthen the tendons in his waist and connect the dragon tendons to his legs. Knight Soro wasn't worried about this. He had accumulated a lot of experience from his previous breakthroughs. This kind of breakthrough was just a bit more difficult to endure. Knight Soro controlled the dragon tendons and the energy in his legs to strengthen the tendons in his waist. Although it was very painful, Night Sorrow could endure it. After 4 hours, Night Sorrow successfully strengthened the tendons in his waist. From then on, the dragon tendons and the tendons in his legs were connected through the strengthened tendons in his waist. The strength in his legs increased by a lot. Congratulations, Sikong Chuyu said as he watched Night Sorrow walk out of his room in high spirits. Thank you. Night Sorrow nodded. His heart was warm. In the past, people had congratulated him, but it had never been as intense as this time. Why are you being so courteous with me? Sikong Chuyu asked with a smile. Yes. I really like the feeling of being able to see you by my side when I'm done cultivating. Night Sorrow looked at Sikong Chuyu. Drink some water first. In truth, I also like this kind of quiet feeling. Sikong Chuyu ran his fingers through his hair. I've always been worried that since you came from a big family, you might not be used to this place. Hearing your words, I'm relieved. Night Sorrow said. You're overthinking it. Sikong Chuyu shook his head. The two of them then walked around the bamboo forest, sat in the bamboo forest, and watched the sunset. Then, they returned to the bamboo hut to get something to eat. After eating, Night Sorrow sat in front of the bamboo hut and fell into deep thought. He wanted to be with Sikong Chuyu, but there were many difficulties. First of all, he had to obtain the approval of the Sikong clan. This was difficult to pass. After all, the Sikong clan was second to none in the Qingtian region. The marriage conditions of the clan's women were also very harsh. Night Sorrow, what are you thinking about? Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow, who was deep in thought. I want to be with you. I want to know what I need to do. Night Sorrow looked up at Night Sorrow and asked very seriously. Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow in shock. She didn't expect Night Sorrow to suddenly ask this question. She didn't know how to answer because Night Sorrow asked it in a very formal manner. Yes, it's a little abrupt. Night Sorrow hurriedly explained when he saw Sikong Chuyu's shock. It's not like that. I haven't thought of this problem yet. Sikong Chuyu saw Night Sorrow's eyes suddenly darken and explained. I know. I'll work hard. Night Sorrow waved his hand. Okay, let's work hard together. Sikong Chuyu reached out and held Night Sorrow's hand. You're tuning in to the Dreamy Love Stories YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.